India-US relation. Okay. So in India-US relation, you see, we have to discuss the trend, the India-US relation trend. And then we have to discuss Indo-US civil nuclear deal. And then we have to discuss US policy on AFPAC, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and implication to India. And we should also discuss US relation with Iran and China and implications of India to India. So these things we have to discuss. In today's chat, today audio is okay? Students, audio, video okay? Is it audio okay? Okay, yes. Okay. So today what we'll do is we'll start with the nuclear deal, okay, Indo-US nuclear. Then one by one we'll complete all the chapters, okay. Hey, who is that guy? MV. உடனே அப்படியே கிறுக்கி விட்டுறீங்க, டென்ஷன் காலங்க தானே டென்ஷன் பண்றோம், idiots. ஏர்லி மார்னிங் டென்ஷன் பண்ணி விட்டுறீங்க. ஒரு 2 minutes ஆகட்டும் கிளாஸ், ஓகேவா? ஒரு நிமிஷம் தண்ணி குடிச்சிட்டு வந்துடும். Is okay? Okay, so we'll start. Okay, so in Indo-US relationship, the first topic we'll take the nuclear relation between India and the US. Okay, so you can ask all your questions at the end of the class. Okay. Okay. So with respect to US, we have to discuss the Indo-US relation trends, number one. And number two, we have to discuss Indo-US civil nuclear deal, this nuclear issue that we have to discuss. And then we have to discuss India-US relation regarding US South Asia policy. That means AFPAC policy, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India policy, that we have to discuss. Then we have to discuss US relationship with Iran and Russia, and US relationship with China and the implications of India. So these things we have to discuss. Okay. So the first topic we will take the nuclear power. Today we will discuss this nuclear power. This topic you can also take it for India and the world regarding nuclear power. Okay. So that we will discuss today. Okay. So first, generally I will give you some facts. Okay, regarding nuclear power, the position of India regarding nuclear power. We will discuss some facts. Then we will enter into Indo-US civil nuclear. Okay. So first, see these are all some data. Okay, so just you can note down data. Okay, so India is the fourth largest energy consumer. Fourth largest energy consumer. Okay, fourth largest energy consumer. Okay, after China, US and Russia. So we are the fourth largest energy consuming country. That you have to know. So we are one of the rapidly developing country now. So and we are also number 2 in population. Okay, and we are fourth largest energy consumer in the world. China is number 1, US is number 2, Russia is number 3. And then we are and you have to know that the nuclear power is the 5th largest source in India. 5th largest source of power in India. Okay, in terms of contribution to Indian power, nuclear power shares only 5th rank. First is thermal. Second is thermal energy, means coal-based energy. Second is hydroelectric. Third one is renewable energy. And then we have natural gas. Then only 5th only nuclear power is coming. Nuclear power ranks 5th only in terms of contribution to India's energy. Okay. So that means in India, Majority of our energy we are getting through thermal energy only. Majority of the energy we are getting from thermal energy, coal based. By burning coal only, we are getting a lot of energy. And in India, we have 7 nuclear power plants with 22 nuclear reactors so far. Okay, you check these numbers. Okay, anyway, so this is the general data. And the present nuclear capacity of India is 6 gigawatts. So through nuclear energy, we can produce 6 gigawatts of energy today as of now. Okay, by 2020, that means already we have set a target for 20 gigawatts by 2020. We were not able to achieve it because of some issues. That issues we are going to discuss now. Okay, and then by 2032, our target is to achieve 63 gigawatts of energy through nuclear power. So this is the position of power and nuclear power in India. Okay, so the point is India is the 4th largest energy consumer next to China, US and Russia. And in India, the nuclear power's contribution is 5th. It ranks 5th. The largest source of power is thermal, followed by hydroelectric, renewable energy, natural gas, then only nuclear power comes. And in India, the present nuclear power capacity is 6 gigawatts. We have set a target for 20 gigawatts by 2020. 20 gigawatts by 2020. Okay, and by 2032, 63 gigawatts. By 2032, 63 gigawatts. Okay, so this is some data or position regarding nuclear power. Then, so this is the different source of energy for India. So that means 59% of total energy we are getting from coal. That means thermal energy. 17% by hydroelectricity. Renewable energy. Well, see, actually nuclear energy is also renewable only. Other renewable energies, 12%. Natural gas, 9%. So nuclear power contributes in and around 2% of our total capacity. Okay, so that means 2% of our current only we are getting it through nuclear power. So this is the point. So this 2% is very meager, very little amount, very small amount. Okay, very meager. Okay, so see, there is one more parameter. If you wanted to find out any one particular country, whether that particular country is a highly developed nation or not, we can just find out how much nuclear power is contributing for their development. See, in almost all developed nations, nuclear power contribution will be number 1. Why? Means because through nuclear power only we can produce bulk amount of energy. If a country is consuming a lot of energy, means that particular country is growing a lot. So this is the understanding. Okay, so you see, we need energy to grow, like for a human body. Like that, for a country also, they need current, this electricity, the energy. Then only it can do. Nuclear power only can contribute more amount of energy compared to any other energy. So in India, it contributes only 2%. It is a very meager amount. So we have to now find out why the nuclear power's contribution to India is less than 2. Why it ranks 5th? Why can't we use more nuclear energy? Why we are not able to use the nuclear power? That we have to find it. Okay, so this is the source of energy from different sources of energy to India's power contribution. And then if you wanted to produce electricity through nuclear technology, means we need this uranium. Okay, uranium is the raw material so far. Okay, so this is the world uranium reserves. That means literally 1/4 of the total uranium reserves are with Australia. So Kazakhstan have 14%. Canada, Russia, South Africa have 88%. See, India's total uranium reserves is 1% of the world reserve. It's a very meager amount. Okay, so this we have only very less amount of uranium. Only 1% of the total world's uranium. And note that our relationship with these countries, mainly Australia, Kazakhstan, Canada, Russia, except South Africa. With these 4 countries, the main relation is nuclear relation. Okay, so we have signed a civil nuclear deal with these countries: Australia, Kazakhstan, Canada, and Russia. Okay, so the important point is India has very less number of uranium. So that you have to know. And this is the India's uranium reserves. Okay, so that means again only 1% of the world uranium only we are having it. Only 1%. Okay, And then the uranium mines. We have two important uranium mines in India. One is Jadaguda mines in Jharkhand, and in Tummanapalli, Kadapa region, Andhra Pradesh, we have high-grade uranium. But the point is, this uranium is not enough. Okay, so this is enough for our military purpose. That means for testing bombs, with the 1% we have done it, no issue. But if you wanted to produce electricity, means we wanted to use the nuclear technology for commercial purpose, means then our position is we have to import. We have to import uranium from world countries to run our nuclear industry. Okay, so this is the present position. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why in India nuclear technology is not developed, because we don't have the important raw material uranium. We have to import. So this is our position. Okay, so but we have used our 1% reserve for military. So that is for testing bomb. This 1% is more than enough. But if you wanted to go for producing current and other commercial purpose, we need more uranium. Okay, so uranium we don't have. We are at the mercy of foreign country. So this is one important inference we have to note it. And but we have thorium. See, thorium is also a radioactive material. Through thorium also we can produce electricity. And note that India is having literally 1/4 of the world thorium. So leave these countries. We have enough amount of thorium. So Australia also again have 1/4 of the thorium. Okay. So the point is this this thorium is available in the beach sands. East coast, west coast beaches are there. No? The beach sand we have this thorium. Okay, but the problem is we don't have the proper technology to use the thorium. So we have a 3-staged fuel reactor in India, nuclear reactor. So in 3rd stage only we will be using thorium. So we are in the 2nd stage. Okay, still that means still it is in the research and development. So we have the technology, but commercially the thorium based current will not be commercially viable. Why? Means because the cost per unit current produced through thorium based reactor will be high, very high. This is the reason. Okay. So that's why maybe after 10 or 15 years, when we get that thorium based technology and the cost of producing current through thorium technology comes down, then India have its own reserves, and we are not at the mercy of any country. India can be self-reliant in nuclear technology. So this is another reason why India depends upon foreign countries for nuclear. That means particularly for uranium. And note that with these countries we have signed civil nuclear cooperation agreement, civil nuclear technology cooperation agreement. That means for sharing nuclear reactors, for sharing the technology, etc. Okay. So US was the first country who signed with India in 2008. After that, India have signed with these countries: France, Russia, Canada, South Korea, Japan, and UK. Okay, so these countries, you have to note that with these countries we have signed civil nuclear technology cooperation agreement. Technology means for sharing technology, for sharing the nuclear reactors. Okay, US was the first country which India have signed. So Japan only last signed with India. Civil nuclear technology cooperation agreement. France, Canada, Russia, South Korea, US, Japan, and UK. So these are all the countries. Okay, then with these countries we have signed uranium supply agreement. Just for sending the raw material, we have signed civil nuclear agreement with these countries. This is called supply agreement with Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Argentina, Namibia, and Australia. With these countries, we have signed civil nuclear supply. That means uranium supply agreement. With the US, France, Russia, Korea, and Japan, we have signed civil nuclear technology cooperation agreement. Okay. So with these countries, we have totally signed civil nuclear cooperation agreement. All these agreements were signed only after 2008. Why? Means I will tell you. Okay. So note down these countries: Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Argentina, Namibia, and Australia. So India, for fueling our reactor, we depend upon uranium. Uranium we don't have. With this from these countries only we are importing uranium today. Okay. Then, so this is very important. Then we have to come to the nuclear weapons program of India. So why India was not able to access nuclear related things from others, we have to find out. See, the Second World War came to an end when US put 2 bombs on Japan. So this we know. So see, we will discuss everything. We will discuss. Don't worry. Okay. So you can keep all your questions at the end of the class. For the end of the class. Okay. So first you see, in Second World War came to an end when 2 bombs were put on Japan. So that you have to know. And after that, what happened is, when the Allies won the war, Second World War, after that, problem broke out among the Allies. That means with US and Russia. US and Russia were together fighting against Germany in Second World War. But after the war, the Cold War started. That means Russia, without consulting Russia or without informing Russia, US have developed this kind of bomb and put on Japan. So this made Russia suspicious over US, and Russia became nuclear. And then after that, England became nuclear, France became nuclear, China became nuclear. Now all the world countries, one by one, they are trying to become nuclear. Nuclear means they are trying to have nuclear weapon. If all the world countries are having nuclear weapon means, then if at all there is going to be any future war means, the future world war will be a nuclear war. That will be the end of all wars. Because all the problems of the world will be over, because world will extinct. Okay, that everybody knows. So an urgent need is there to contain the spread of nuclear weapons in the world. So because of that only, what happened is, world countries in 1963, note this, in 1963, they signed a treaty called Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Now it is called PTBT. That is called Partial Test Ban Treaty. Why it is called partial, I will tell you. See, first you write, in 1963 Test Ban Treaty, you can write like this, okay? In 1963 Test Ban Treaty, all world countries signed it. All world countries signed it, okay? And this treaty bans nuclear test by countries. It bans the nuclear test by countries in 3 zones. In 3 zones. Over land, 1 over land, 2 underwater, 3 in atmosphere or space. So these are all the 3 dimensions we are having. Okay, that means over the land, under the water, in atmosphere or space. So world countries thought that if all the countries signed this agreement means, here afterwards world countries will not go for nuclear weapon, will not test nuclear weapon. Because this treaty bans nuclear test over land, underwater and in space or atmosphere. So these are all the 3 dimensions: water, space and land. Okay. But what happened is, in 1964, China went to nuclear. In 1974, India went to nuclear. And note that, you can also note that 1963 treaty, India is a party. India is a party. India is a party to this deal. Now also a party to this deal. Then how come India tested nuclear weapon in 1974? 1974, first time during Indira Gandhi's regime, we tested nuclear weapon. How come India signed a deal after signing the partial test ban treaty in 1963? Means you have to note that India tested underground. So India only gave a promise that India will not test over the ground. Over the ground, under the water, in space or atmosphere. India tested under the ground. So this is not a breach to international treaty. That's why the treaty was called partial test ban treaty, because it partially only bans the world countries. You can't test the nuclear weapon upon the land. That means over the land or underwater or in space. Okay, but countries are finding new methods to test nuclear weapons. For example, India tested nuclear weapon under. Okay, so that is the why this 1963 treaty is called partial test ban treaty. Partial test ban treaty. It partially bans the world countries testing nuclear weapon. Nowadays, you have to note that countries find new methods to test nuclear weapon. For example, Some countries are using computer simulation to test nuclear weapons. Like that, new technology with the modern age, you have to know the new technologies coming. So this is the thing. Okay, so and again, what happened is in 1970, again world countries went for a deal. That deal is called Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT 1970. 1970, it came into force. It was signed in 1968. Important thing is 1970 only it came into force. Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Okay, and again world countries signed another treaty called CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. So name itself says comprehensively it bans all kind of tests regarding nuclear weapon. You can't test nuclear weapon in any form, any new form. Okay, so CTBT treaty, NPT treaty came into force in 1970. CTBT came into force in 1996. And note that India is not a party to these two deals. Treaty. India did not even sign the NPT treaty, did not even sign the CTBT treaty. Okay, we did not sign these two treaties. Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. Comprehensive means holistic. Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. This is Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Non-proliferation. NPT means Non-Proliferation Treaty. Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. That is Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. We did not sign this treaty. We did not sign. Now also we did not sign this treaty. Okay. Okay, I will answer. See, 1978, world countries started to sign. And finally, in 1970, NPT came into force. CTBT came into force in 1996. In these two deals, India is not a party. India did not sign the treaty. And then we should know why India did not sign the treaty. Because India felt that this treaty are discriminatory in nature. This NPT, CTBT, both are discriminatory in nature. That's why India did not sign this treaty. Okay, India did not sign this treaty because these treaties are discriminatory in nature. Why it is discriminatory? We can also write. So this NPT and CTBT are discriminatory in nature, so India did not sign that. Because you write these treaties allows the P5 countries, that means the countries who already have weapon, to retain the weapon. It allows the P5 countries. See, China was the last country who tested nuclear weapon in 1964. So only the P5 countries have nuclear weapon. Okay, today. So it allows the P5 countries to retain their nuclear weapon. But it doesn't allow any new country to acquire nuclear weapon. That means US, Russia, England, China and France, they have tested nuclear weapon. They can have their nuclear weapon. Okay, but new countries should not test nuclear weapon because the issue is India was the 6th country which was about to get nuclear weapon. But what happened when India was about to get nuclear weapon? NPT was signed. So that's why India did not sign NPT treaty, and in 1974 finally we tested nuclear weapon during Indira Gandhi's period. That is called Smiling Buddha. That project is called Smiling Buddha. And not only that, it also doesn't give any time frame for complete elimination of nuclear weapon for these P5 countries. See, these P5 countries already they are having, no? So what this NPT and CTBT is telling, nobody should test a nuclear weapon. Then what will happen to the country who have already tested nuclear weapon? This was India's question. So there is no restrictions on them. So if you already have nuclear weapon, means they have to disband it, no? They have to eliminate the nuclear weapon, no? Phase out the nuclear weapon, no? But for that there is no provision in NPT and CTBT. That's why India did not sign it. And note that because India did not sign, Pakistan also did not sign. And we all, yesterday class itself, we have discussed last class, some class before. In 1998, Pakistan also went nuclear. See, this NPT and CTBT, India did not sign it. Why? Means because it is discriminatory in nature. Why discriminatory? These two treaties allows the countries who already have nuclear weapon to retain their weapon. That means P5 countries can retain their weapon. P5 countries can retain their weapon, but new countries should not acquire weapon. So that is this two treaty. India cannot accept this. Why? Because India was the sixth country who was about to go nuclear weapon. Okay, so India was the sixth country in 1974. The nuclear test, that project is called Smiling Buddha. Smiling Buddha is the code word for our nuclear test. So in 1974, India was the sixth country which was about to get nuclear weapon. So when we are trying to test nuclear weapon, world countries are signing NPT, and then they are telling that here afterwards no one should test. So India said, I will not accept it, because particularly our enemy China was having nuclear weapon. So India have to have nuclear weapon, otherwise India will not be safe. And we also discussed in the first class, in 1971 war, US threatened India by sending its 7th nuclear capable 7th fleet into Bay of Bengal during the Bangladesh Liberation War. That means unless we have nuclear weapon, the countries who have nuclear weapon may strike India, may threaten India. We may get problem from those countries, from US or China. That's why India finally felt that we should have nuclear. So that is called nuclear deterrence. Okay, if we have nuclear, nobody will come and strike us. So this is the understanding. So that's why India did not sign NPT and CTBT. And finally, in 1974, Indira Gandhi tested nuclear weapon. That program is called Smiling Buddha program. Okay, so actually we bought the nuclear reactors from Canada. Actually, that is meant for commercial purpose only. But for the first time in the history of the world, India is introducing one concept called dual use of technology. Dual use. What is dual use? Buying the thing for one thing and using it for the other purpose. It is called dual purpose. Okay. So India first time is introducing the dual purpose technology, dual use of technology. We bought it for civil purpose, but we used it for military purpose. So in 1974, we tested nuclear weapon. And that means in 1971, we signed a deal with Russia also, friendship deal. So Western countries were furious against India. Adding fuel to this, in 1974, we went to nuclear weapon. So world countries came to an understanding that because many countries have signed NPT, that doesn't mean that nuclear spreading, the nuclear weapon spreading will stop. Countries like India is doing it for, we have tested nuclear weapon. Although we have not signed it, countries can use it for dual purpose. So that means world countries, now they thought that this NPT is not enough for putting pressure on world countries not to go for nuclear weapon. Okay, so this is what world countries came to an understanding. Okay. Yes, what is dual use of technology means? We are you are buying it for producing current, but actually you are using that reactor for testing bombs. Dual use. You are using it for dual use, not for the said purpose as per the contract. That is called dual use. India first time introduced this concept. See, that means world countries thought that if they are not, that means NPT is in force. So world countries will not go for nuclear weapon. But India went for nuclear. That means this NPT is not enough to contain world countries to go for nuclear. That's why on the initiative of US, world countries, they formed one group called NSG, Nuclear Supplier Group. So what we are discussing now is very, very important. Okay, 1970 India did not. 1963 India signed the deal. 1970 India did not sign the NPT. 1974 we are buying nuclear reactor from Canada for civil purpose, but we have used it for the other purpose. That's why the dual use of technology concept comes. So India have now tested nuclear weapon. India is having nuclear weapon. That means in order to stop spreading this kind of nuclear weapons, world countries, what they did is they formed one group called NSG, Nuclear Supply Group. Who took this initiative? US only took the initiative. Because US and India in 1970 to 74 and all, our relationship was worst, very bad. We did not have very good relationship with US because in 1971 US threatened India, but we signed a deal with US enemy Soviet Union, and we drove away US out of Bay of Bengal just by signing this particular deal. So US was furious against India. Not only that, India divided Pakistan into Pakistan and Bangladesh. That means Pakistan by the time was a close US ally, security ally. But US was not in a position to do anything against India. So that's why US went against India. So to put pressure on India and to restrict India not to access this nuclear related material, US on the initiation of US, some countries formed, some group of countries formed NSG. I think totally 48 countries, 48 or 49, just check it, okay? 49 countries or 48 or 49 countries are there. Check it. I forgot the number. Okay. So who are these countries who formed this energy? Means only these 48 countries only have nuclear raw material, nuclear reactor and nuclear technology. Except these 48 countries, no country have anything regarding nuclear technology. That means the source of nuclear technology, raw material, uranium, or the technology, or the reactor, only these 48 countries only are having it. So these 48 countries under on the initiation, that means on the provocation of US, they formed this NSG, Nuclear Supplier Group. So they have put a ban among themselves that they will not have any kind of nuclear related trade with any countries without the approval of energy members. So all the energy members have to approve that. If the energy members are not approving it, means these countries will not supply uranium, these countries will not share the technology, or these countries will not share the nuclear reactors. 48 countries. Okay, 48 countries. Okay, so energy, total 48 countries are there. These 48 countries are the only countries in the world who have nuclear related materials. That is raw material, uranium, to they have technology, they have the reactors. So the point is, when energy was formed, the energy members will not allow to have nuclear trade with India. Or we can say, yeah, there is a ban on India from energy to have nuclear trade. Okay, so India cannot access raw material, cannot get technology, cannot get reactors from foreign countries because of the NSG restriction which was put on India in 1975. 1970 or 75, during this time only they formed it. Or we can say NSG was formed against India only because US wanted to put restrictions on India. US wanted to punish India. That's why since that particular day, India cannot access any kind of nuclear related material from outside. So this explains why in India, the nuclear power's contribution is only 2%, in and around 2%. Why? Means because we don't have the raw material uranium. No country will supply uranium to India. So if you don't have the raw material, then how can we develop that industry? See, suppose we don't have petrol, diesel and all. Do you think that automobile industry will be there in India? No bike, car will be sold in India. Because we need that particular raw material. Without raw material, how the industry will thrive. You can't run that industry. So this is the understanding. Okay. So since so no country will supply, including Russia. All the countries were members in NSG. So from 1974, we tested nuclear weapon as a reaction to India's test to nuclear weapon, because India is not a party to NPT. And even then, India bought the technology for civil purpose and used it for military purpose. To stop all these things, NSG was founded in 1975 by the initiation of US. The energy 48 countries are there. All these 48 countries only have nuclear related material. Okay, they only have the nuclear related material. Okay, that means only these 48 countries in the world only are having uranium, reactors and the technology. So without the help of these 48 countries, no country can have nuclear technology, even for civil purpose. So what these energy countries will do is, if any country wanted to sell or share the nuclear related material to another country, means energy have to give a OK certificate, green signal. Okay, so if if any country wanted to sell or share their technology with India, nuclear related technology in India, means energy will not allow it. So since 1975, we are having this restriction. So we were isolated from the world regarding nuclear technology. We can't access nuclear technology. That's why India, nuclear technology is not developed. That's why in India, coal-based power, we are going for coal-based power. Okay, so let me finish it. Okay, this is we are in 1975. 1975, since 1975, we are under restriction. So one by one only we can discuss. Okay, and again, what happened is in 1998, we were under energy restriction, and nobody will share us uranium or technology anything. But with our 1% of the uranium, 1% we had uranium. With that, again, India went to nuclear for the second time. India went to nuclear for the second time. This was during Vajpayee's period. Okay, so but this time when India went to nuclear, Pakistan also went to nuclear. Both India and Pakistan are not a party to NPT. That's why world countries were not in a position to take very strong action, except they put economic sanction anyway, because the two arch enemies, India and Pakistan, are having nuclear weapon. If both the countries are having a problem, they will use nuclear weapon against each other. So that will be the starting of the Third World War, end of the world. Okay, that's why world countries put economic sanction. But Pakistan said that I am ready to disband my nuclear weapon and sign NPT, CTBT if India signs me. Next minute I will sign. This is Pakistan's stand. But now the entire pressure was there on India. But already we have discussed this. Okay, within a year, all the economic sanction against India were lifted, including US. US was one of the first country who revoked the economic sanction, because US thought that India can be a partner to counter China. That is number one. And number two, India's LPG policy. Okay, India have a very big market. Okay, so US wanted to access our Indian market, other products. Okay, so US wanted to develop friendship with India, and India had a very big rising middle class population. So middle class normally won't have this sophisticated items, AC, refrigerator, etc., micro oven, etc. So now only middle class are rising from 1998. So now people have money, means they will go and buy television, they will go and buy refrigerator, they will go and buy air conditions, etc. So US thought that India can be a good market for its product. That's why since 1998, US opened good relationship with India. After 2000, US and India became very close allies. So this is India's nuclear weapon program. Okay. So 1963, we signed the partial test ban treaty, but the treaty was not enough to see. Let me discuss one by one. Okay, so just allow me to discuss. Okay, so we are still in, now we are in 1998. Okay, 1963 we have signed a partial test ban treaty. 1970 we did not sign NPT. 1974 we tested nuclear weapon by introducing dual use of technology. So retaliation to that, energy was founded. So the countries who have nuclear related material will not have trade with India. That means India is banned by energy. No country should share anything regarding nuclear technology with India. And again in 1988, with our indigenous technology, we again tested nuclear weapon. That is called Operation Shakti. This is Operation Smiling Buddha. This is Operation Shakti. And world countries put economic. Before 1998, CTBT was signed. CTBT also India did not sign. After 1998 test, Pakistan also went to nuclear. And world countries, they put economic sanctions on India. And all the economic sanctions were lifted. Why? Means because India clearly said that India's nuclear weapon is not targeting any country. Actually, our purpose of having nuclear weapon is to safeguard ourselves from nuclear China. So this attracted US to have friendship with India, because US thought that India can be one of the best country to counter China. In US counter China policy, India is number one. Okay, so that's why what happened in 1998, within a year, all the economic sanctions were lifted. Pokhran is the place. Both tests were done in Pokhran only. Pokhran is the place. Project name is Smiling Buddha and Operation Shakti. Okay, after 1988, what India did is India unveiled the nuclear doctrine of India. So we are now having nuclear weapon. Now world countries are having, if you have nuclear weapon, this is a threat to other countries. So India said that I am having nuclear weapon, and this is my nuclear doctrine. What is the justification? Means nuclear deterrence. Okay, so my enemy country is having nuclear weapon. So in order to protect myself for self-defense, I am having nuclear weapon. That's why India first use policy. India said that I'm having nuclear weapon, but I will not use nuclear weapon against anyone first. Okay, I will not start a nuclear war. So this is India's policy. And this policy is based on credible CMD, credible minimum deterrence. Our nuclear weapon is meant for credible. Credible means reliable. Minimum means small amount. Deterrence means a caution. See what is deterrence means? Deterrence means by equipping yourself, you are discouraging your enemy not to attack us. See, that's why in the day I think I said this in the class. See, after the class, when you are going home, your dog is always chasing you. So next time what you have to do, you have to carry a big stick. That's all. That stick is a deterrence to that particular dog. See, you are telling to the dog openly that if you are harming me, if you are coming and disturbing me, then I will be forced to use this. You will get into trouble. That is called deterrence. It is a caution. This is discouraging the enemy not to attack us. That is called deterrence. So this is nuclear deterrence. Credible minimum deterrence. Minimum level we are having it. That means our nuclear weapon is not meant to destruct anyone, but for self-defense we are having it. If anybody does anything against India, then India will use this nuclear deterrence. Okay. So you can ask all the questions. See, Watson, you can ask a man of 1,000 questions. Okay. You can ask all the questions at the end of the class. Why not we use defense in place of deterrence? Deterrence is defense only. Deterrence means we are not using it. But if you are harming me, means I will use it. That is defense. For self-defense only we are having deterrence. Okay. Credible minimum deterrence. See, that means credible. See, that means just to safeguard ourselves, we are having this nuclear. It is not meant for any offensive purpose. That is called credible minimum deterrence theory. See, opposite to that, one more theory is there, followed by Pakistan, China, and some other countries. That is called MAD theory, M-A-D theory, M-A-D, MAD theory. Mutually, M-A-D, MAD theory. This is mutually assured destruction theory. That means those countries will have maximum number of nuclear weapons. We have minimum number of nuclear weapons. Just to safeguard ourselves, we have minimum number of nuclear weapons. But this MAD theory countries, mutually assured destruction policy based countries, they will have maximum number of nuclear warhead. For example, China, thousands of warhead. Now, that is not at all necessary. Okay, that is not at all necessary. Pakistan is having more nuclear weapons than India. That is not required. See, with the 2-3 nuclear weapons, we can destroy the entire country. Why you should have India itself is having more number of nuclear weapons. Pakistan is having double the number of nuclear weapons, which is not at all necessary actually. Put your question at the end of the class. Video problem is there. Audio, video, okay? Students? Okay. So credible minimum deterrence means, okay, credible minimum deterrence means to safeguard ourselves for self-defense, we are having minimum number of nuclear weapons. I am having nuclear weapon. If anybody threatens me or hit me or harm me, I will use this. That is called credible minimum deterrence. Opposite to that, you have MAD theory, mutually assured destruction. That means the country following MAD theory will have more number of nuclear weapons than necessary. No, so in the P5 countries, you have to note that Russia, China, and all are having more number of nuclear weapons than required. US also having more number of nuclear weapons because US want to contain the entire world, you know, so it is having more number of nuclear weapons. So we are having nuclear. For example, India is following CMD theory, credible minimum deterrence. That means our target is China and Pakistan only. To protect ourselves from China and Pakistan only, we are having it. So that means credible minimum deterrence theory is a defense theory. Credible minimum deterrence theory is a defense theory. Mutually assured destruction is an offensive theory. The country who wanted to go offensive, wage war against another country, will need more number of nuclear weapons. Our intention of having nuclear weapon is not to use this for offensive purpose, but only for defensive purpose. So only we have the policy called no first use policy. That means we will not start the nuclear war, or we will not start any war. This is our doctrine. But later what happened is, our Indian government, they unveiled or expanded or gave a new interpretation to the new no first use policy. That means India said that the no first use policy will be applicable only against the non-nuclear weapon state. It is applicable only against the non-nuclear weapon state. That means if any nuclear weapon state attack India or occupy Indian territory, or they attack Indians in India or outside anywhere in India, then India will be free to use nuclear weapon against the country. So this is no first use policy. So that means Pakistan, against Pakistan and China, India may use nuclear weapon in the first strike itself. See, that means to have the no first use policy, a particular country should have second strike capability. So this is a capability. This is a status. Status means a capacity. Okay, second strike capability. See, what is second strike capability? See, we are having nuclear weapon, but what India says, I am not going to use the nuclear weapon first. That means India says that only if somebody uses against me, I will use it. See, just imagine, India is having nuclear weapon, China puts nuclear bomb, and when China puts nuclear bomb, the entire India is gone. Then what is the use of having this nuclear weapon and nuclear doctrine, this deterrence theory? So that's why we need second strike capability. That means what is second strike capability? Means if somebody strikes me, somebody hit me with a nuclear weapon or any other force, I will survive. This is important. I will survive. And if I that means after that I will strike back. That is called retaliation. That is called second strike. Then my retaliation will be massive, and I will inflict unacceptable damage. That means I will finish you. This is what India is telling. This is a warning. Warning only India is giving. That means India is telling, I'm having a very powerful weapon. I'm not going to use it against anyone. First. But if any country attacks India, then I will survive with that particular attack. That means the second strike capability is a capability which a particular country can survive with the first attack, and it can safeguard the nuclear. That means any attack on the nuclear weapons also. See, nuclear installation, somebody is putting a bomb, means then we have to survive. Then we have to use our nuclear weapon. See, whether our nuclear installation can survive, that is a question. So India is telling, I have second strike capability. That means if anybody hit India, put bomb on India, even nuclear bomb on India, India will survive. I have somebody hit me means I can take the blow. I will survive after that. And when I strike back, I will finish you. So this is what India is doing. The retaliation will be massive, and India will inflict unacceptable damage. So it is a threat, and we are giving a threat to the world country. Don't come and harm me. If you are coming and harm me, I will finish you. If I strike back, I will use my weapon. That's why China is not going for a full-scale war with India. If India doesn't have nuclear weapons, then definitely China will attack India and occupy India. Because we are having nuclear weapon. If China uses means, we will also use that weapon. We will survive. We have second strike capability. We can survive with the first attack, and when we become offensive, then we will inflict massive, our retaliation will be massive and inflict unacceptable damage. So this is our nuclear doctrine. Credible minimum deterrence. No first use policy. And no first use is only against non-nuclear weapon state. Against nuclear weapon state, preemptively we can use nuclear weapon. That means we are giving a warning to in China and Pakistan. Even if you conspire and you are going against India, you are planning to attack India. Before you attack, I will attack with a nuclear weapon. So be careful. So don't do anything against India. So this is a warning to Pakistan and China. Okay. Okay. And regarding this nuclear doctrine, we should know two important entities. One is CCS, another one is Strategic Nuclear. One is CCS, Cabinet Committee on Security. Okay, and this CCS is the only authorized body who can order a nuclear strike. And the Cabinet Committee on Security is headed by Prime Minister. This is very, very important. Why? Means because in India, all the three armed forces are under the control of President, not under the control of Prime Minister. Note this. Who is the Supreme Commander of Armed Forces in India? The President of India. Only President can declare war on another country and declare peace on other country. Stop the war, start the war can be done. Starting and stopping the war can be done only by the President of India. And subject to the approval of the Parliament, that is okay. But regarding nuclear weapon, the nuclear weapon is under the control of CCS, the Cabinet Committee on Security, which consists of ministers headed by Prime Minister. Okay, so military official also may be participating in this. Okay, so they only will discuss and they only will take the final decision whether to strike nuclear weapon or not to use nuclear weapon. That means the power to push the button, nuclear button, the nuclear bomb button is with the Prime Minister, who is a civilian. That is important. Okay, so that means this is good actually. Why means because suppose if you give this particular power, that means the order to strike nuclear weapon to the president means the president doesn't like any one country means he arbitrarily, unilaterally, he may take a decision individually and he may ask a nuclear strike. Okay, so but that is not there in India. Why means because the president is not answerable to anyone. You can't. No one can ask a question to the president. Ultimately, only the check against the president is president cannot do anything against the constitution. That is the only one reason we can remove the president through impeachment process. That is done by the both houses of the parliament with the 2/3 of the total majority. Okay, so that you will read it in politics. So we can remove the president only when he violates the constitution. What means violation of the constitution is also not defined. So far, the impeachment of president is not being tried in India so far. All presidents were so far good. Okay, or at least they are not bad. The president and so since he is not answerable to anyone, if you give this power to president means he may go and switch the button. For example, I am telling. Just imagine if you go and press the button means what will happen? Nuclear war will start. Country have to go for a war. Okay, so but what we have done? The Cabinet Committee on Security only can authorize the nuclear strike, and it is headed by Prime Minister. Prime Minister is not a free guy. He is not an ultimate authority in India. Prime Ramnath Govind writes that. All this batch full of funny people. Okay, yesterday. Okay. You stick to the class. Okay, so Prime Minister, you have to note that he is a civilian, and even though he is the head of the government of India, see, President is the head of the state of India, Indian state. Prime Minister is the head of the Indian government. Government can change, state will not change. Note this: state is a permanent process. Government periodically, based upon the verdict given by the people through elections, the Prime Minister and government changes. So whatever the Prime Minister is doing, he is a MP. He have to go to the legislature. In legislature, the members of the parliament are there. Who are the members of the parliament? The representative of the common people. We only vote them and then we are sending them to the parliament. Because we cannot go to the parliament. Indian parliament cannot accommodate all the population. That's why we are going for the representation system. That means through MPs, we people are directly represented in the parliament. This is the understanding. So if Prime Minister goes there, means these MPs will ask questions. The Prime Minister have to answer them. That means whatever Prime Minister is doing or Prime Minister is not doing, not doing or not doing well, whatever may be the case, Prime Minister is answerable. He is accountable to the legislature. Prime Minister belongs to the he is an executive. Okay, so but he is responsible to the parliament. That means parliament means it is people. So Prime Minister is responsible to the people. So Prime Minister normally cannot take any hasty decision. Hasty decision means without reason, without logic, he can't take any decision. So whatever decision he is making, he have to clarify that in the parliament. People will ask questions. That's why nuclear, that means the power to strike nuclear weapon, that means to authorize nuclear weapon is with the prime minister, and nuclear weapon is safe in India. Unlike in US. In US, the power to strike nuclear weapon is in the hands of Trump. We all know about Trump. Trump is a mad guy. Okay, so he does, no one know what he is going to do the next minute, including Trump itself doesn't know what he is going to do next. So if that is the case, means anytime he may push nuclear weapon. So with respect to Iran, if he orders a nuclear weapon, means what will happen? Okay, so like that problem will come. Unilaterally, he will take decision. Like that, it is not possible in India, because in America it is possible, because there they have separation of power. So that means the point is, US president is not answerable to the parliament, because he is not an MP. He is not a member of parliament. He will not go to parliament. So he is not, that means no need to answer to anyone. But unlike in India, Indian prime minister is a MP. See, only if you wanted to become a prime minister or minister in India, you should become an MP. Or a non-MP also can become prime minister and minister, but within 6 months he should become an MP, Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. Okay. So see, there was one prime minister was there who was never an MP, but became the prime minister. Devagowda. Okay. So like that minister also is possible. Today Jai Shankar is there, no? The external affairs minister. First he became a minister, then he got Rajya Sabha. Okay. So anyway, so CCS. So CCS is very, very important. And then another entity is called Strategic Nuclear Command, NSNC. So this is a military body who will execute the decisions of the CCS. If CCS says go and strike nuclear weapons, Strategic Nuclear Command will put the bomb on the designated place. And normally it is headed by a Air Force officer. Okay. So this is the nuclear doctrine of India. Nuclear doctrine of India. So Devagowda was the CM of Karnataka, but he was also the Prime Minister of India also. Without being an MP, he was a Prime Minister for some time. And after that only he became an MP in mid-1990s. Okay. So this is nuclear doctrine of India. And we should know some 4 important non-proliferation regimes. So this is important. Non-proliferation regime. Non-proliferation means spreading. So in the first non-proliferation regime is called NSG. Already we know NSG was formed against India only. It was formed in 1975 in retaliation to India's nuclear testing 1970. 48 parties are there. Okay. So this is also called London Club. NSG was also called London because this group was formed in UK only. So what is the purpose of NSG? It limits the export of nuclear equipment, material and technology. You can't export nuclear equipment, material and technology without the approval of NSG. Okay, so that means only the 48 countries are only having the nuclear equipments, material and technology. So these 48 countries, they can't share their technology, equipment and material to anyone without their approval in NSG. So the 48 countries have to approve, then only any one country can share it. That's why India cannot access equipment, material and technology since 1975. Okay, until 2008. In 2008 only NSG gave us a waiver. I'm coming to that. Okay, so this is called Nuclear Supply Group. India so far have not become a member in NSG. India now wanted to become a member in NSG. But China is not allowing, because in NSG, everything is decided based on consensus. Everybody have to accept. One country say no means no. That means no resolution will be passed, no decision will be made. So among the 148 countries, only one country is opposing India to enter into NSG. That is China. We will discuss India's case to enter into NSG at the end of this class. Okay, and then another regime is called Missile Technology Control Regime. This is also important. See, we have nuclear weapon. A country is having nuclear weapon. What is the use of having nuclear weapon without having the delivering vehicle? See, nuclear weapon means you have to go and put it on your enemy. For that, you need missiles. So by controlling missile technology also, what you can do? You can avoid the danger of nuclear weapons. Okay, so that means this MTCR, missile technology control regime, is against non-proliferation of missile technology and UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. That means this flights can fly without autopilot. That means without pilot, without human beings, they can fly. Unmanned aerial vehicle. So nowadays, using unmanned aerial vehicle, only people are going and hitting. See, manned aerial vehicle means what will happen is, suppose this is what happened to Abhinandan. So Abhinandan in a manned jet only, he chased the Pakistani jet, and he finally, his flight also got into problem, and he fall in Pakistan territory. Okay, so against non-proliferation of missiles and UAV. Okay, so in India have become a member in MTCR 2 years before. Earlier we did not have this missile technology. So by not allowing the missile technology to spread, the threat of nuclear weapons put on other country will be reduced. But India indigenously have developed the long-range missiles. Particularly, this MTCR is concerned about ICBR, intercontinental ballistic missile. Intercontinental ballistic missile. That means long-range missiles. So that can strike one continent to another continent. So ultimately, what happened is India tested Agni 5, which is of a minimum range of 5,000 to 8,000 kilometers. 5,000 to 8,000 kilometers means we can strike anywhere from India. Okay, we can strike the other continent. Okay, from here we can strike the BG. Okay, intercontinental ballistic missile. So when India indigenously developed this intercontinental ballistic missile, India applied for MTCR. India was allowed to enter into MTCR. The MTCR means it is a forum which will restrict the spreading of the missile technology, rocket technology. Okay, so India did not have long range rockets, but now only India have this Agni 5, which is a 5,000 to 8,000 kilometer range. So finally, India was allowed to enter into MTCR, missile technology control regime. No country should share the missile technology with others. This is against non-proliferation, non-spreading of missiles and UAV. Okay, without missiles, how can we put the bomb on our enemy? So by control, this is for controlling nuclear weapon. This is for controlling the nuclear carrying vehicle, that is rockets, missiles, etc. So India have become a member in MTCR. And the third regime is called, third non-proliferation regime, we call it as Australia. Okay, 43 countries are there, 1985, it was, this is regarding non-proliferation of chemical and biological weapons. Non-proliferation of chemical and biological weapons. Chemical and biological. See, note that India is a pioneer, one of the leader in chemical technology and biotechnology. So we have chemical weapons and biological weapons, but we have signed some agreements, international convention. So India have to, that means phase out our chemical weapons and biological weapons. Because already we know nobody can use chemical weapons and biological weapons. India have accepted to that treaty. Okay, so this is called Australia Group. India have become a member. India is a member in Australia Group. And finally, Wassenaar Agreement. This is the fourth non-proliferation regime. This is regarding export control of conventional arms. That means normal conventional warfare weapons, guns, tanks, etc. And dual-use goods and technology. So, because of Wassenaar Agreement, nobody can spread the arms. This is regarding restricting arms sales, dual-use goods and technology. So, in all the four regimes, India wanted to become a member. Except in energy, India have already become a member in all the three regimes. So, energy, we are yet to become a member. China is blocking India. MTCR, we have become a member. Okay, and then Australia Group and Wassenaar Group, we have already become a member. Okay, So these are the important things you have to note. No. Okay, these questions and all will come in preliminary. That's what is Westerner Agreement, what is Australia Group, what is MDCR, what is energy, like that. Okay, and then the last important agency regarding nuclear technology, that is IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency. In 1957, it was founded. It is an autonomous body. Okay, so it is an autonomous body, but summits report to UN, United Nations General Assembly and United Nations Security Council. It is an autonomous body which summits reports to. I will show it after a few minutes. Okay, so it submits reports to UNGA and UNSC, United Nations Security Council. So what is the purpose of IAEA? IAEA. What is the purpose of IAEA? It promotes peaceful use of nuclear energy, but it prohibits military purpose. You can't use the nuclear technology for military purpose. This is IAEA. So IAEA is an international organization, intergovernmental organization, autonomous organization, but will report to United Nations General Assembly and Security Council. The purpose of IAEA is to promote nuclear technology for using for peaceful purpose, for producing electricity, etc. But no country should test nuclear weapon for military purpose. Okay, there are three main functions of IAEA. You have to note it. One, it inspects all the existing nuclear facilities of the world, and it will give a clean certificate that here they are using it only for civil purpose. No, they are not using it for military purpose. So IAEA team will come and inspect all nuclear facilities of the world to give a certificate that here only they are using the technology only for civil purpose, not for military purpose. See, so far India never allow this IAEA to come and inspect our facility because we are having nuclear bombs in our nuclear facilities, no? So here it is not, we will not allow IAEA. Okay, I am coming to that. And then the second job of IAEA is, the first one, inspection. Second one is for safety of the nuclear technology and the nuclear plants from natural disaster or man-made terrorist attack or man-made disasters, whatever it is. Okay. So if nuclear radiation is there, some problem is there, means what are the steps to be followed? The protocol to be, the to-do list, the safety guideline list is being provided by IAEA. IAEA will give inputs. And finally, IAEA acts as a hub for exchanging information regarding peaceful use of nuclear technology. Okay, because IAEA is also used in medicine for treating cancer. That means nuclear technology. I'm telling. Nuclear technology is used in medicine. For treating cancer, we are using radiation. For removing the tumor, we are using radiation. In engineering, people are using this nuclear energy. In agriculture, also they are using nuclear energy. For treating mangoes and all, they are using low radiation, low unharmful radiation on that mangoes. Okay, so IAEA is also used for, because we are having nuclear weapon. India will never allow IAEA to Indian nuclear reactors because we are a nuclear weapon country, no? So if IAEA comes, means we have to eliminate our nuclear weapon. So everybody know this. So IAEA says that India is having, that's why no country will share anything with India. Without IAEA's clean certificate, no country will share any nuclear reactor or anything related to nuclear technology with India. Okay. See, China, US, they are approved to have nuclear weapons. So no issue. Other countries should not have nuclear weapons. Okay. So Iran also is not allowing the IAEA to come and inspect. That's why Iran got into trouble. World countries put economic sanction against Iran. Now Iran has accepted that it won't go for a nuclear weapon. Now IAEA going and checking Iran's nuclear installations. That you have. So these are all the things you should know before discussing India-US nuclear. Okay. So for what we have discussed is economic sanction means no trade, no buying, selling with that particular country. That is called economic trade. Okay. So for what we have discussed, earlier we were discussing about India's capacity, and then we were discussing the different sources of energy for India. and India's total energy reserve, uranium reserves is only 1%. These are all the two important mines in India, and India have to depend upon imports to run our nuclear power industry. And we have thorium, but thorium so far today is not useful. Maybe tomorrow it will be useful. So tomorrow means it may take another. It is still in the research and development stage. Once we master the thorium-based technology, after that India will be independent. India need not that means need no help from any foreign country. That you have to know. And then with these countries, we have signed Civil Nuclear Technology Cooperation Agreement. That is after 2008. That we are going to discuss now. And after 2008, we have signed these agreements with various countries for supplying uranium. So in 1963, we signed the partial test ban treaty, but we did not sign NPT and CTBT. In 1974, we went to nuclear, and against India, they formed NSG. And again, we went to nuclear for the second time in 1998. And after that, we discussed the nuclear doctrine of India. So nuclear doctrine of India means no first use policy. No first use is against non-nuclear open state only. This is the present policy. So India says that I will not use it first, but if I use it, retaliation means second statement. It will be massive, and I will inflict unacceptable damage. And you should know what is CCS, Cabinet Committee on Security, headed by Prime Minister, civilian. And this is the military body who will execute the decisions of CCS. And then we were discussing 4 non-proliferation regimes. One is NSG, nuclear supply group. So this limits nuclear related materials export to other countries. Without approval of energy, nobody can get nuclear related material from any country. So since 1975, you have to note that India was under ban from energy till 2008. And then India is yet to become a member in energy today. And MTCR, we have become a member. This is regarding non-proliferation of missile and UAV. Okay, so India now have Agni 5 long-range missile. That's why India is allowed to enter into MTCR. And then Australia group is regarding proliferation of chemical and biological weapons. India is a party to this. Wassenaar agreement, this is regarding control of export of conventional arms and dual-use goods and technology. India have become a member in this. And finally, IAEA. So IAEA is the organization which will promote peaceful use but will prohibit military use. And IAEA will come and inspect all the nuclear facilities of the world. And IAEA also helps in case of any contingency, any nuclear accident happens, what to do. IAEA will help. And finally, as a hub, it acts as a hub for exchanging information regarding nuclear technology. India is now a member now. Now India is allowing. Yes, India has not become a member in energy because China is not allowing, because energy works based on consensus. Okay, so this is Wassenaar. Somebody asked the Wassenaar agreement, no? This one. Okay. Dual use means, see, you can see you are going to buy, you wanted to cook, you wanted to cut vegetables. So what you are doing is you are going to the shop and buying a sharp knife. So the shopkeeper thinks that you are buying it for cutting vegetables, but you are going and murdering someone. So this is called dual use technology. You are buying it for one purpose, using it for other purpose. So now you can't go and arrest that particular shopkeeper that he only supplied you weapon. Okay, can you understand? Okay, leave it. So the point is buying the nuclear technology for civil purpose, but using it for other purpose. Do member countries allow IAEA to its territory? Yes. See, only when IAEA come and inspect the nuclear reactors, then only you can buy nuclear related material from other countries. Okay. So we'll take a small break and then we'll continue. See, India is today is a member in IAEA. IAEA is coming and checking Indian nuclear reactor. We'll see. We will discuss that. MTCR. MTCR is regarding the controlling of spreading of the missile technology, rocket technology. See, you have nuclear weapon. You should have rocket to put the weapon on some other person. No? So by controlling the rocket also, you can control the threat of nuclear weapon used on other countries. So for that only MTCR is been formed. No country will share rocket technology, missile technology. Okay, so Australia group, Wassenaar group, and then nuclear supply group and MTCR. The third function, exchanging information regarding peaceful use of nuclear technology. How to use the nuclear technology for other peaceful purpose. For that means that is for civil purpose. So IAEA encourages that. No issue is there. So after 5 minutes, we'll continue. Some people are asking questions. I'll just answer. India is a member. See, it's not membership. IAEA, now India is allowing IAEA to come to inspect our facilities today. I will explain that now. US provoked sanction became friend from 2000, but energy bill. Okay, we are going to discuss. We have not discussed this. Next, we are going to discuss this one. Just to come in, you have to wait for some time. Does economic sanction was imposed on India Operation Shakti? Yes. That's why I said within a year, all the economic sanctions were lifted. Okay. Okay, we'll take a break and then we'll continue. So you can ask all the questions at the end of the class. Okay. So you ask me directly at the end of the class. Let me finish it. Next, we will get into the Indo-US Civil Nuclear Agreement, 2008. Okay, so it was signed by Bush, Junior Bush and Manmohan Singh, and some technical issues were there that were cleared by Obama and Modi. So that we have to discuss. See, you ask all your question at the end of the class. No voice. Is voice clear? Is voice clear, students? Audio, video clear? Okay, we'll continue. Okay, you ask all your question at the end of the class. Okay, so actually India is a de facto nuclear weapon country. That means de facto means by fact we are having nuclear weapon. Okay, we are not a recognized nuclear weapon country. Okay, and note that we are not a party to NPT NCTBT. That we already know. And so that means, and not only that, we are having restrictions from energy also since 1975. No country will supply us nuclear related material. Okay, and then you see in US there is one act called Atomic Energy Act 1954. Is that Atomic Energy Act? This is a domestic act, US law, which forbids, prohibit US government to have nuclear trade with countries like India. If any country is going for nuclear appointments, US cannot have civil nuclear cooperation with that particular country. So this is the understanding. Okay, so we have an international ban through NSG. We have a local ban in US by US law itself. So in these circumstances only, US came forward in 2005 and said that US is ready to help India for in civil nuclear technology. We are under energy restriction. Energy members will not give us permission. And in US itself, US government is under pressure. US government cannot have trade with India because US law prohibits that. Okay, so these were the restrictions, but still US came forward and US said that US is ready to have civil nuclear technology with India, agreement with India. And to make this deal possible, US have to do two things. Number one, it has to bypass the domestic law, 1954 law. 1954 law will not allow US government to have nuclear trade with India. No, so India should be given a waiver. That means they have to amend the law, one. And number two, it is the duty of the US to lobby in NSG for getting a such special waiver for India. That means US have to get permission from NSG members that US can sell its nuclear reactor and other things for civil purpose to India. Because energy ban is there in India, no, NSG should say okay. Local law also should be bypassed. So this is what US have to do on US side. The US have to modify the domestic law, and to India should be given a special waiver, special consideration. a special permission from energy. Okay, we can have nuclear trade with India like that. So these are all the two important things. And on Indian side, what we have to do, we already have a weapon, nuclear weapon. And we are also using the nuclear technology for producing electricity. So weapon program, electricity, both reactors we are having it. So this is civil reactor. This is military reactor. In military reactor, we are having nuclear bomb. In civil reactor, we are using it for civil purpose. So, but we are not producing electricity much. Only 2% only we are producing. So what we have to do is, here afterwards, if India is going to buy nuclear reactor technology raw material from other countries, then IAEA will come and ensure. For that, we have to open all our civil facilities. That is where we are producing electricity and for international safeguard. That is IAEA. IAEA will come and check. IAEA will come and check our nuclear reactors. If we wanted the nuclear reactor raw material and other technology from other countries, means IAEA will come and check and ensure that we are using this help only for peaceful purpose, not for military purpose. That means first we have to segregate our nuclear facility. Military facility we have to keep it separately. Civil facility we have to allow IAEA to come and inspect. So IAEA will never be allowed into our weapon where we are having weapons, but where we are producing current, where we are buying nuclear reactor technology, where we are going to use it, there and all IAEA will come and check and ensure that India is using all this help only for civil purpose, only for civil purpose. So this is one thing India have to do on our part. On the other part, second one, very important one, we have to introduce here nuclear liability legislation, liability law or liability legislation. Inconsistent, means according, that means that should go in lines with international standards. So this is the other commitment. So India have to segregate our nuclear facilities. We can keep our military facilities separately. We have no need to open that facility for anyone. But if at all we are going to buy anything from foreign country, we have to use it only in the civil facilities. Whether we are using it only for civil purpose or not, IAEA will come and check. So IAEA will come and check our civil facilities, but IAEA will not allow the IAEA to come and check our military facilities where we are having weapons. So we have to segregate it. Open the civil facilities for international safeguard, IAEA safeguard. And on the other side, we have to pass the nuclear liability legislation. It is a law. So what is this nuclear liability legislation? See, actually in this deal, there are 3 parties are there. So this is a civil nuclear deal. So for this deal, I'm telling this is a deal, civil nuclear. If we want to have any agreement with any third party for supplying raw material, particularly technology and reactors, means there are 3 parties are there. One is the suppliers. Supplier means the US company here, in this case US, the country who is going to supply us nuclear reactor. Second group is called operators, operator. And the third group is called the consumers. Okay, consumers. Okay. And in case of any accident, means the same consumers will become victims. Okay, consumers and victims. So this nuclear liability legislation defines the relationship between suppliers, operators, and victims in case of accident. Suppose a nuclear accident is there, means who is going to pay for the damage? Who will pay for the damages? All these things have to be separately come under one law called nuclear liability legislation. And this nuclear liability legislation should be in lines with international standards. It should be in lines with international standards. Okay. See, we have to pass a local law called nuclear liability legislation. Nuclear liability legislation. So what this nuclear liability legislation is doing, it is in case of accident, tomorrow there is going to be an accident because tsunami is coming, or earthquake is coming, or human error, or technological error, whatever it is, some nuclear radiation is the nuclear accident happen. Some damage will be there, no, to human beings and men, material, etc. Who is going to pay for the damages? So defining all these things, we have to pass a law. Who have to take care of nuclear liability? That means who will take responsibility? Legislation. We have to pass it, and this law should be in line with international standards. So this law defines the relationship between the supplier company, the operator company, and the victims. Actually, they are the customers. Supplier company will supply nuclear reactors and technology. Operator company will buy it for money, install the reactor, run the reactor, produce electricity, and sell it to the customers. Suppose any accident means the same people will become the victims. Same people will become the victims. Okay. Yes. Okay. So environmental liability is there, no? Like that. This is an environmental liability only. See, so for example, Kalpakam, there is a blast is there in Kalpakam. Like what happened in Neyveli. Neyveli coal plant. That is a coal plant. That's why the people who are working there alone got affected. Suppose if it is a nuclear plant blast, nuclear boiler blast means the entire region will get affected. It will affect the environment, affect the people who are working in that company, and also the people who are living in and around that particular company, and also it will affect plants, trees, animals, and also men, material, etc. Everything. Okay. So if this kind of damage is created, means who is going to pay the fine? Who is going to take responsible for that? So these things have to be clearly mentioned in a local law. Why? Means because you see in 1980s Bhopal gas tragedy was there. Bhopal gas tragedy was there. See, you can ask all your question at the end of the class. Okay. See, no security issue will be there because see, IAEA is a authorized international agency. Okay. Subject to IAEA's certificate only, we can receive all this material. Otherwise, no country will provide us anything. So we have to allow them for inspection. And our Indian reactors, military reactors, we are keeping it separately. So they are coming here to check whether we are using it only for peaceful purpose, only for the set purpose. For that only IAEA is there. See, in Bhopal in 1980s, mid 1980s, there was a gas leak was there. Thousands of people were affected. Until now, the people were not properly compensated. Some compensation was actually given, but a meager compensation. Now also every year on that anniversary of that, on the particular day of that accident, people protest in Bhopal, demanding that means compensation. So like this, by the time and all this liability, this kind of law were not there. After that only this public liability law, all these laws were passed by the government. So this is a nuclear power plant. If there is an accident, there is going to be a big consequence. So somebody have to take responsibility. So all these things have to be mentioned. Who is going to take responsibility? Who is responsible? Who will pay the fine? How much they have to pay the fine? Everything they have to. All these things have to be mentioned in nuclear liability legislation and Indian law. In case of India, Indian law. So Indian law clearly have to say this, and the Indian law should be in line with international standards. International standards that you have to know. So what is that international standard? We will discuss now. So number one. See, you ask all the question at the end of the class. Just note it and ask the question at the end of the class. Okay. See, there are 3 conventions are there, but the 3rd convention is very, very important. Why? Means because this convention have the provisions of the above convention. Comprehensively, all the provisions mentioned in Paris and Vienna is mentioned in the CSE Convention 1997. That is called Convention on Supplementary Compensation for Nuclear Damage. So that means India have to pass a nuclear liability legislation in lines with CSE Convention 1997. In lines with CSE Convention 1997. Convention on Supplementary Compensation for Nuclear Damage. See, that means see what is being provided in this particular convention. No need to go into the details. If you just know who are all members of this CSE convention 1997, immediately you will get an understanding. So you have to note that all the countries, particularly the 48 countries, it is not 48, all the supplier countries, this is correct word, suppliers, the suppliers of the technology, reactors, etc., they only signed the CSE convention. That means CSE, that means our law, who is going to take responsibility, that law should be equal to CSE convention. So definitely what they will do with the CSE convention, the supplier companies only signed this convention, and they ensured that in case of accident, means the supplier companies will not take responsibility. They will not give compensation. They will not give compensation. That means Indian government have to pass a Indian law such that if there is an accident in India, means we will not ask compensation from the suppliers who gave the technology, who gave the reactors. That means we will take care of that. Suppliers need not pay the money. Like that we have to. Suppliers are not ready to take any responsibility in case of accident. See, suppose for example, in case of manufacturing defect, one nuclear reactor blast is there. So according to CSE convention, suppliers are telling, I will not give money. You have to look after yours, or you get the money anywhere, but not from me. That is what CSE convention 1997 says. But they have created a fund in a CSE convention. That fund is called International Liability Fund. International Liability Fund. But to access that, lot of conditions are there. The conditions apply. So we have a fund. If you have any nuclear accident, you have some kind of problem, means you can we are having a money. You can access that particular money. But what they are telling is, they are telling that you can't access the money easily. Okay, you can't access this money easily. For that, lot of conditions are there that we are going to discuss in the next coming slides. Okay, so International Liability Fund is there. We have a fund. You can get that particular fund. But if you want to get money from this fund, means conditions are there. 1, 2, 3. After that only we will give the money. See, in the name itself you can find it out. Actually, the name should be Convention on Compensation of Nuclear Damage. So we are the manufacturers of nuclear reactors and technology. So anybody buy nuclear reactor and technology from us, if there is an accident, means we will give compensation. Compensation means, that means this is nothing but guarantee warranty. That's all. So this should be Convention on Compensation of Nuclear Damage. But see, what is the name? It is Convention on Supplementary Compensation. What is called supplementary? Additional. That means they are not going to give you compensation, but if the compensation, the damage goes beyond a certain limit, they will provide you certain supplementary money. The main damage we have to look upon ourselves. There is no need for, that means these countries will not give this. Okay. See, the parties who have signed this agreement. Who are the parties who signed this CSE convention? The countries who are supplying everything. In this case, it is US. The countries who have nuclear reactor, raw material, not raw material, nuclear reactor technology, these countries only signed the CSE convention. The countries who are going to, the companies who are going to sell us nuclear reactor and technology, they only signed the CSE convention. And they said that, they are telling that we will not take responsibility. In case of accident, we will not take any responsibility. Okay, so but we have a money, we will not pay for the damage. That is what CSE convention 1997 says. So they want an Indian law such that the supplier companies need not give money. So this is the understanding. So but they have a fund. To access that particular fund, conditions are there. That means they will give compensation, but they are going to give only supplementary compensation. Supplementary means additional, not the main compensation. Additional means, for example, daily you are spending 100 rupees. One day you are having 20 rupees extra spending, means so that is called supplementary. Supplementary money you will get. Okay, supplementary. Father will give us supplementary money, extra money when you have extra expenses. The main expense is the main expenses. For the main expenses, the supplier companies are not going to give you money. So we have to, in case of accident, we have to compensate ourselves. That is the understanding. Okay. And then finally, the deal was signed. Okay. The Henry Hyde Act, India-US Peaceful Atomic Energy Act was signed in 2000. In 2000, it is an act passed in 2000. This is the act which bypasses the 1954 nuclear liability legislation. Because according to that 1954 law, US government cannot do anything. Okay, so Paris Convention, Vienna Convention, all these provisions are available in the CSE Convention also. CSE Convention is a comprehensive one, which contains the provisions of the previous convention. Okay, so Henry Hyde Act. So US bypassed the domestic law by giving a waiver that US can have nuclear trade with India through this act, Henry Hyde Act. So this is one. And number two, like expected, US also lobbied in favor of India, and Energy finally gave us a waiver in 2008. And IAEA also said that, so you ask the question at the end of the class. Okay, you ask all the question at the end of the class. Okay, so NSG gave us a waiver. US lobbied in favor of India, and all the 48 countries accepted that, okay, we can have nuclear trade with India. Subject to IAEA condition. IAEA approved it. So here afterwards, if you are going to buy nuclear reactor or spare parts, whatever it is, whatever from foreign country, if you are going to use it in one reactor, means IAEA will come and check how we are using it, whether we are using it only for civil purpose or not. IAEA will come and check it. And finally, in 2008, India-US Civil Nuclear Cooperation Agreement was signed. So 123 is the 123rd provision in that US Atomic Energy Act 1954. Okay. See, in US, why it is called Henry Hyde? What is this Henry Hyde? See, in US and all, that means in US, in national level, political party literally is non-existent. Only for presidential election only, they have the political party, Republican Party, Democratic Party. Yeah, that means in India and all, you have to note that we have anti-defection law. If you are elected in a party's ticket, means how the party is telling, like that only you have to put vote in the parliament or in the state assembly if you are a MLA. You can't go against your party direction while putting vote, while passing any bill or confidence vote, etc. Okay. So you ask all the question at the end of the class. Okay. So in India, this anti-defection law is there. We have to vote in lines with the party lines. But this is not the case in US. In US, anyone can vote for anything. Okay. Nobody will control you. That means if, for example, Trump is the president of US, he belongs to Republican Party. Suppose a Republican Party brings a particular bill to make a law, means the party members itself will oppose that particular bill. Party members will support it, some party members will oppose it in the parliament while voting. Like that from the opposition party, some people may support it, some people may oppose it. That means based on bipartisan support only, a bill will pass. Okay, so there is nothing called anti-defection law in US. Okay, and there is and not only that, in US there is nothing called public bill, private bill. In India we have two types of bill: public bill, private bill. Public bill means the bill introduced by the minister, because in India the executive, the ministers are also MPs, so they will introduce the particular bill. That is called public bill. The bill introduced by any MP other than ministers, we call it as private bill. But in US, everybody, all bills are private bills only. Why? Means because Trump and his associates will not, they are not MPs, they will not come to the parliament. Okay, so suppose a US MP introduce a bill and the bill becomes act or law, means the bill will have that particular MP's name. So that means the Henry Hyde was the US MP who introduced this particular bill in US Parliament. The US-India Peaceful Atomic Energy Act 2006. According to this act, US government can have nuclear trade with India. They can have nuclear trade with India. So that means finally what happened? US is free to have nuclear trade with India. So the local ban is over. And coming to the international ban from energy, US pressurized all the energy members, including China, to give us a waiver. By the time China gave us a waiver. Waiver means India can access nuclear related material from any country. India, that means the ban which was put on India in 1975 is no more. Since 2008, India is free to access nuclear reactor technology and other related material from foreign country, subject to IAEA approval. IAEA said that if anybody gives anything to you, India, I will go and check in India that India is using it only for peaceful purpose. So this is what IAEA said. And finally, both countries signed the civil cooperation, that civil nuclear agreement in 2008. That is called 123 Indo-US Civil Nuclear Agreement. So finally signed. That means the deal is over. So now the operator companies, they have to pay the money to the supplier companies, and supplier companies have to send them reactor and technology, and the operator company again they will install that particular reactor and technology, and they will operate it, run the reactors, produce electricity, and sell it to the people. Okay, so the legal deal between the two countries are over. Okay, but this was signed in 2008, but today is 2020. So nearly for 20 years, so far, except Russia, you have to know that no country has supplied anything to India, because we have a problem with the world countries. Even after this deal, even after NSG gave us the waiver, IAEA approved. So regarding some technicalities, we have some problem. So what is that particular problem? We are going to discuss. Okay, so before that, we have to discuss these two things, very important. Before getting into the discussion, why US so far have not supplied any reactor, why, although the deal is over, why the actual transaction did not happen, that we have to discuss. So before that, we have to find out, do India need this deal? Do India need this deal? If India needs this deal, means what are the consequences for India? What India have lost because of this deal? What India have gained this deal? Or ultimately you say whether this deal is a good deal or not. And then the second question is why US is helping India? It was US who did not allow India to access the nuclear material in 1975 by being the person behind the formation of energy. Because of US only energy was formed. But now US itself is coming and helping India. Well, that means what the US is gaining. This we have to find it out. Okay. So now you tell me whether India need this deal. Whether India need this deal. See, the point is India need this deal. I mean, because India is a rising power. We need lot of energy. And because of climate change and other problems, we can't keep on going on the coal-based energy, which is a dirty energy. This nuclear technology is a clean energy, and we can produce electricity in bulk. So we need nuclear technology. In India, nuclear technology is not developed, and we are under ban from energy. That's why we can't access any type of nuclear related thing from other country. So, and by 2008, by the time of 2000 and all, there was a big energy shortage in India. And not only that, Iran was also get into trouble. And again, if India wanted to access all this technology means, then US have to help us. Okay, then only again from energy we will get a waiver. So making all these plus and minuses, India finally came to an understanding that we need this technology. And note that this technology is a very costly. The US based nuclear reactors are very, very costly. You put your question at the end of the class. So Iran, from Iran, we were buying 1/3 of our oil by the time. US, because of the international sanctions on Iran, from Iran, we are not able to buy oil and gas. So our energy source is depleted. Now we are in need of energy. That's why we have to go for nuclear energy. And note that the US based nuclear technology is very, very costly. That means the US based nuclear reactors are very costly reactors. but then also we are going further. Why? Means because only when US agrees, when it is possible for US to send their reactors, then only India can access nuclear based things from other countries. If US is not helping India, then you have to note that India can never access nuclear related material because of the energy restriction. Only US have the only country who have the capacity to get us a waiver from energy is US. That's why even though we pay heavy money to that US based reactors, India, because we wanted to access the nuclear things from other country, India accepted for this deal. What is the thing we got lost, and what the thing we gained means? Number one, the important thing we gained is we are going to gain energy. So if you have energy means you will socio-economic development will be there. India will be a rich country. India will be a strong country. So this is the biggest thing, and we get clean energy also, and we can access nuclear technology from all the world countries because energy has given us a waiver because of US. So this is the biggest thing we have gained. The biggest thing we have lost is here afterwards India cannot test nuclear weapon. Okay, so India cannot test nuclear weapon. Then what happened to our sovereignty? That is the biggest question. Okay, so only on the that means the implied condition that India will never test nuclear weapon. Now world countries energy has given us this waiver. Now we can access nuclear related material from world countries. But what happened to our security? What happened to our sovereignty? Here afterwards, no nuclear test like that. That means literally we have signed the NPT treaty. So NPT says that nobody should test it. So by signing this deal, literally we have not signed NPT treaty, but literally we have signed NPT. This is the biggest thing we have lost. And what is the thing we have gained is world countries earlier, because we went nuclear weapon, we were not allowed to access nuclear related technology. But now they are ready to provide us technology, but they did not put a condition that we have to disband our nuclear weapon. All they said is you keep all your military reactors away. If at all we are going to give you anything, means don't use it for military purpose. This is what Western countries said. That means literally Western countries have accepted India as a nuclear weapon state. So this is the biggest gain we have got. What we have lost is we can't test nuclear weapon. And what is the biggest gain? World countries have literally accepted India as a nuclear power country by not pressurizing India to disband our nuclear weapon. And even I am telling, our sovereignty is not been lost because we have signed this deal. Why? Means because see, today we have enough number of nuclear weapons for maintaining the credible minimum deterrence. We have to, that means to safeguard ourselves, we have enough number of nuclear weapons. That means there is no need for India to further go for any new nuclear test. See, for example, my life is under threat. So what I am doing is, I am carrying a gun to safeguard, for self-defense. Okay, one gun is enough. Okay, two guns is okay. There is no need for me to carry hundreds of guns. Even I am carrying hundreds of guns, I can't be able to use those hundreds of guns. So that means similarly for India to safeguard ourselves, we have enough number of nuclear weapons. Even if India tests more weapons, that is not useful for India. Why we have to go for more number of nuclear weapons when we have already enough number of nuclear weapons? So we had two choices. One is right to test nuclear weapon, and number two, right to development. So India opted for right to development, that is energy. That means this is a good deal for India. That is understood. And what US is getting? US have got an ally, India. So that's why after 2000, India and US became partners. So again, to counter China policy, US got a very strong opponent of China, that means India, as a friend of US. And not only that, India is a close ally of Russia. From the Russian side, US have pulled India into its side. Okay, the ideas of India, US go together. And not only that, lot of Indians are there influencing the US government by working for US in US. Everybody knows. Okay, So Indians are working, they are placed in important software specialists are there, scientists were there, NASA scientists were there. So Indians are contributing, and the Indian diaspora is increasing in US. So based on all these things, what happens is US now open relationship with India. And finally, for US, it is a commercial one. It is a business. So US will get lot of orders from India for its nuclear reactor, and India is going to pay full money to US. And by doing this, US can also put further pressure on Iran, because Iran's one of second biggest customer is India. But now India is not buying much from Iran. So it is a good thing for US. So these are all the implications of the Indo-US nuclear deal. So today what we'll do is we'll stop here, because if I continue means it will take another 1 hour. Okay, so we'll continue in the next class. So now time for question and answer. You just ask a question, directly you ask question. Okay. Yes, Sivamuthu. Yes. Hello. Sivamuthu.
Sir, can you tell about the nuclear supplier group, sir?
See, nuclear supply group.
Sir,
is
if the project is on the table of the nuclear supplier group countries, then every country had to accept. If the country is not willing to given the project to America.
Project.
Sir, if China.
Project.
Yes, sir.
I am not able to understand your question.
Sir, if the project is based on India and America project, sir, on the table of NSG, sir, then China is not willing for the project to go to America. Instead, it want to go to project to Australia. Like that way, if
what project, ba?
Sir, nuclear supplier group irukla, sir.
Ama. Nuclear supply group என்ன சொல்லுங்க. ஹலோ. See, நீ சொல்றது எனக்கு புரியவே இல்லை. என்ன क्वेश्चन கேக்குறீங்கன்னு எனக்கு புரியல. ஹலோ. ஹலோ.
ஹலோ.
சொல்லுங்க. தமிழ்லயே சொல்லுங்க. என்ன क्वेश्चन?
இல்ல சார், இப்போ ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்து ரெண்டு கண்ட்ரிக்கு இடையில ப்ராஜெக்ட் அப்ரூவ் ஆகணும்னா அதுக்கு என்எஸ்ஜி அப்ரூவல் தேவை அப்படினீங்களா சார்? 48 கண்ட்ரி அப்ரூவல்
ஒவ்வொரு வாட்டியும் தேவை இல்ல.
அதாவது எப்படி சார்?
So earlier they said that no one should have any kind of nuclear trade with India. This was the sanction put by energy members. All of a sudden, now what happened is, because US wanted to do it with India, US got us a waiver from energy. So now energy said that everybody can have relationship with nuclear trade relationship with India. The thing is, IAEA will go and check that whether India is doing it only for peaceful purpose. This is the only condition. India accepted, energy also accepted. Now India can do it with any country. Energy will not object. That's all.
Yes, sir. Sir, India இப்போ அப்பனா NSG ல ஒரு மெம்பர் தானா சார்? அப்பனா
இப்போ இல்ல, மெம்பர் இல்ல, நம்ம மெம்பர் கிடையாது. ஆனா நான் மெம்பரா இருந்துட்டு நம்மள அக்சஸ் பண்றதுக்கு விடுறாங்க. Only the 48 countries, no, only the 48 countries who belong to energy only have the nuclear related things. If anyone anyone wanted the thing means energy has to give us a okay signal. So India green signal now. India is not a member. India is not a member.
Yes sir.
என்ன இருக்கு? டெக்னாலஜி கிடையாது, ரா மெட்டீரியல் கிடையாது, ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. அப்புறம் என்ன, எப்படி நீங்க மெம்பரா இருக்கீங்க?
சார் இல்ல, இப்ப டெக்னாலஜி இருக்குதானே சார்? நம்ம எல்என்டி கூட இப்போ வந்து ரீசன்ட்டா கிரியோஸ்டாட் வந்து பிரான்ஸ்க்கு கொடுத்தாங்க ஒரு வாரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி.
அதெல்லாம் கமர்ஷியல் டெக்னாலஜி, அந்த இதெல்லாம் வந்து கிடையாது. ஓகேங்களா? கமர்ஷியல்
இது கூட வராது.
நம்ம உங்கள்ட்ட டெக்னாலஜி அப்புறம் கொஞ்சமா கரண்ட் தயாரிக்கிறீங்க, அதை சொல்லுங்க எனக்கு.
சார் அதான் தெரியல. இல்ல இப்ப பிரான்ஸ்
டெக்னாலஜி இல்ல, நம்ம ஏதோ பழைய டெக்னாலஜி வச்சிருக்கோம். சில முக்கியமானதை மட்டும் ரொம்ப சீக்ரெட்டா உள்ளத ஹை டெக்னாலஜி தனி வச்சிருக்கோம். அது கமர்ஷியல் டெக்னாலஜி இஸ் நாட் வித் அஸ்.
சோ அதுக்குன்னு சட்டனே பிரிச்சு வச்சிருக்காங்க சார். வெப்பன்ஸ்
ஆமா, வெப்பன்ஸ்க்கு தனியா இருக்கும். அப்புறம் ரெண்டுக்கும் ஒரே டெக்னாலஜில எப்படி வரும்? See, அதுல டிஃபரண்ட் நியூக்ளியர் ரியாக்டர்ஸ் இருக்கு. hard water reactor, fast breeder reactor, even like the different things are there. But if you wanted to use that nuclear technology for producing current means, that technology we don't have.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so for that only depending upon foreign countries. So
NSG group
energy earlier blocked India, now gave a waiver to India.
Okay, sir.
So now India is to access nuclear related things from any foreign country.
Okay, sir. இப்போ NSG group தான் அப்படினா energy group நீங்க அதானே சார்? energy group அப்படினீங்கல்ல சார், அது energy group தான். ரிசோர்ஸ் இருக்குது, டெக்னாலஜி எனர்ஜி இருக்குது, அவங்கட்ட டெக்னாலஜி இருக்கு,
எல்லாமே இருக்கு. அது ஆமா 48 மெம்பர்ஸ் தான் எல்லாமே இருக்குது. அவங்க எதுமே டெக்னாலஜி ஷேர் ஆகாது.
ஓகே சார். Thank you sir.
Yes, Archana.
Hello, sir. Yes. Sir, regarding our nuclear liability legislation, what is the current situation, sir? Like the onus of responsibility is on whom right now?
No. So that we have not discussed. So far we have signed a deal, but the actual commercial activity did not happen because there is a problem in nuclear liability. There was a problem in nuclear liability legislation that India have to pass. So next, we'll discuss in the next coming class.
So we didn't pass it, the legislation.
We passed it, but the law was had some problem, and again we have sorted out the problem. So that is what we are going to discuss in the next part.
Okay, sir. Even in the international legislation, is there any differentiation between the within the suppliers? Because some countries supply material alone, uranium, for example.
Uranium is not because some countries going to supply uranium, that is not going to create any loss for the party.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
So those countries will not be a party to CSC convention. The countries who are supplying reactors and technology, they became members in CSC. They signed a convention and they safeguarded themselves that they will not take any responsibility in case of any accident.
Okay, sir. And you said that except Russia, no other country has supplied anything for us.
Okay.
So, but you also said that we have numerous civil nuclear agreements with many countries.
Yes, agreements are only there, but we have signed a deal, but reactor is not there. It came to India. What is the problem that we have to discuss?
Okay, sir.
Deal is there.
Okay.
So we have put a contract, but the supply and payment has not been done. Why? Issues are there.
Okay, sir. And you said that there are 3 stages in nuclear development, and third stage is thorium. I don't know what the 3 stages are.
See that you have to read it separately in science and technology.
Okay.
It's under bilateral. Okay. See, if you want experiments, it will take time. Okay. What we just do is just Google it and search for 3-stage India's nuclear program.
Okay.
Stage 1, what is the fuel? Stage 2, what is the fuel? What is the output? Stage 3, what is the fuel? What is the output? That's all. Just to check it.
Okay, sir. Fine. Sir. And one more thing, sir.
Yes.
Like the strategic nuclear command is there, sir. So
yes.
Is it under Home Affairs or on what authority?
It is a military body.
Okay.
Military executive body. It is a team. Okay. Who are responsible for executing? It is an executive body to the CCS, Cabinet Committee on Security.
Okay.
If Cabinet Committee on Security says that go and put the atomic bomb, nuclear bomb in China, means strategic nuclear command only will do it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Haripriya.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
So I have this doubt regarding MTCR. So MTCR, like can countries indigenize the missiles?
MTCR?
MTCR is basically for prohibiting export of missiles, sir.
Missiles and UAV.
So, but does it prohibit the country's indigenization of missiles?
No, you can develop yourself.
Okay, only I have a restriction export.
No one will help you because you see, actually through MTCR, so then in MTCR there is a ban. Like energy says that no one will give you nuclear related material. Like that MTCR says that we will not give you missile based technology or anything regarding missiles. See, we were now recently only we developed the ugly file, but actually in late 1980s itself, in this Soviet Union was about to give us this cryogenic engine technology. The cryogenic engine technology is also used for satellites, also satellite carrying heavy payloads, and this is also used for intercontinental ballistic missile. But Soviet Union collapsed. After that, Russia was trying to do that, but US and other countries using MTCR, they did not allow Russia to share the cryogenic engine technology. But
And what about the BrahMos, sir?
BrahMos is a short-range missile, cruise missile.
That's a cruise missile. The MTC applies only to long-range missiles.
Mainly long-range missiles.
Okay.
See, and also short-range missiles also. See, the missiles which can be able to carry nuclear warheads. So regarding that, see, short-range missile is not a threat, but long-range missile is a threat. First, okay, so that's why they did not allow. Now we have developed our own cryogenic engine technology. Now, after that, we have sent our Agni 5, which is of minimum capacity of 50,000 kilometer. See, 50,000 kilometer away from away itself, we can strike it. Okay, so that's why now India have become a member in MTC. Long range means from a remote area, you can just you can launch the missile from there itself. Short range means you have to go near. If you go near means the enemy or opponent he will be alert.
Okay, so MTC are confined itself only to long-range missiles.
Mainly long-range missile.
Okay, sir. The second doubt is actually, sir, so basically now all countries only want peaceful use of nuclear technology.
Yes, all countries want peaceful
use of nuclear technology.
Yes.
That so the IAEA has a mandate only to check those nuclear reactors, but not buy for military reactors, sir.
Yes. But there are certain countries like Iran, North Korea, they are doing it. No, that is a problem.
Okay, but how? Why can't the IAEA go and check it? Because it's a body for peaceful use of technology, but why it is confined itself?
See, that means the point is, see, I am a country in my house. I am developing nuclear weapon. Only when I allow IAEA, then only world country will understand that I am not doing it for military purpose. Otherwise, I am doing it for military purpose. That is the understanding. So if North Korea is not allowing IAEA to enter their country, means the understanding is they have nuclear weapon.
So defying the world order.
Yes. See, earlier India did not allow IAEA. So what is the understanding? Then India have nuclear weapon. Pakistan today also will never allow IAEA. That means Pakistan is having nuclear weapon. That is the understanding. So IAEA simply says that I am just coming to check that whether you have bomb or not. If you are telling you don't have bomb, then let me check it. IAEA is telling.
Okay,
somebody is not allowing IAEA, means that is a problem. But now Iran is allowing it. Because Iran, after that 2015 agreement, has said that it will not test nuclear weapon. It will use it only for civil purpose.
Now, third question is actually, sir,
Yes.
regarding, so now India, everybody is assured that India is not going to use its nuclear weapon against any countries.
So little slower. I am not able to hear your voice.
Okay, sorry, sir. So actually now, world countries are assured that India is not going to use nuclear weapons against any country.
Yes.
So why can't India actually go and sign the NPT now?
See, if we are going and signing the that means we have to disband our nuclear weapon. One, okay, we have to disband our nuclear weapon. NPT will ask India to disband our nuclear weapon. Number two, tomorrow if India want a nuclear weapon, means India can go for nuclear weapon, and India can decide that I don't need this civil technology. I have this thorium-based technology. I am internally I am very strong now. I will go for nuclear. Like that, India can go. So if you sign new NPT, means you are surrendering everything. That is the understanding. So you are going and India is going and signing NPT. Tomorrow Pakistan is daily testing nuclear weapons. What will happen to India?
It's only the NPT itself has changed, then India can accept it.
Yes. See, everybody have to disband the nuclear weapon. Means India also can sign it and disband our nuclear weapon. Otherwise, we cannot do it. When our enemy China is having it, we can't go and sign NPT.
Yes. Okay.
So it is what we are telling is we will not test a nuclear weapon. We are giving a promise. Tomorrow we can break the promise, no issue, and go against the world countries.
Okay.
If we are going and committing, means we can't breach it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Okay, Deepika. Next is yours. Okay, Deepika. Yes.
I have doubt regarding NSG. Uh,
Energy. Yes.
Whether that 48 parties can supply within themselves.
No, why? See, they can supply themselves. No issue.
So whether it is.
See, the point is, if you have raw material means, we can develop our own technology. Very simple. Even you see, for example, if we have technology, no raw material. What is the use of the technology? So the technology is and all is secondary only, but raw material is the main thing.
Then they will supply to Iran, North Korea.
No, they are not members. They are not members in energy. Energy never approves that. So Iran bought everything in black market. Iran and North Korea from China. Black market.
And then you said US is the only country who can make India to waive
Yes.
from that NSG.
Yes. Yes.
As is that headed by US, so that you said like that.
No. See. For example, Russia is our closest ally. Russia is a member in NSG. Russia wanted to give everything to India. If Russia is trying to give to India, means who will put veto? Who will not accept it in energy? US will not accept. So when US helped India, Russia is already our friend. So Russia will not do anything against the interest of India. That's why I said if any other country takes initiative, US will block. If US itself is taking that initiative, means no issue. Everybody are happy.
China will not oppose this.
China opposed it, but US pressurized China on the day in 2008. But today we become a full member, China is not accepting because China after 10 years now have become very strong.
Do we are getting any nuclear weapons from US? Only from Russia we are getting?
No. Russia have already supplied it. We have signed a lot of agreement with various countries, no technology cooperation agreement. All the countries are supposed to give us reactor, but some technical problems are there in the trade negotiation. That we are going to discuss in the next class. But with Russia, no problem. Russia has already supplied us. In Kudankulam, Russia only is running that reactor. That means Russia only installed that reactor.
That's it. Thank you.
Discuss this further in the next class.
Okay. Thank you.
Steve Watson?
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my doubt is, sir, you said that India tested its first nuclear weapon in 1974, sir.
Okay.
Sir, at that time, did IAEA did not come, sir, before that also, because if India had not allowed, at that time, sanctions would have happened, just like Iran. At that time, what is the problem, sir?
See, first time this kind of nuclear sanction is put on India only. Okay, by the time, see, we tested nuclear weapon. If you test nuclear weapon, means why IAEA have to come and check that you are not having nuclear weapon? Everybody know that.
No, sir, I'm asking before 1974, after we bought the reactor from Canada, sir.
By the time, no one know this idea of dual use technology. So we said to Canada that give me your reactor, I am going to produce electricity. But we bought the reactor and used it for dual purpose. After that only countries became aware. That means alert. After that only they formed this energy group.
Okay, sir, and my another doubt is, why can't we trade with Iran, sir? Because Iran also has some amount of uranium. Why can't we trade with Iran? If we trade, means sanctions would happen or any other problems?
No, Iran doesn't have uranium that much. Okay, so but Iran bought all this technology, everything in black market. But if you want to use it for civil purpose, means you need raw material in bulk that Iran cannot supply. Iran doesn't have. See, I have given the data, no? For example, I have given the data earlier. Only these countries have lot of uranium. Australia, Namibia, Argentina, Kazakhstan. No. Only these countries have uranium, more uranium. Australia, Kazakhstan, Canada, Russia, South Africa, and some other countries. They don't have much uranium. Only we have to buy it from these countries. And we have signed this agreement, supply agreement with these countries only, where they have in abundant. But Iran is not in this list.
Okay, sir. And final doubt is, sir, currently we have signed this deal for civil purpose. After
Yeah.
we have got all the intelligence, technology, and everything like that, we can step out and develop new military technology, no sir. So it is a disadvantage only, no sir. How come?
What about fuel? We need raw materials, no?
Yes, sir. I'm asking now. The current countries are giving intelligence regarding technology and raw materials, but after we have developed enough, after we have got enough amount of the information,
So you are telling about thorium. When we develop thorium-based technology, we can become independent. That's what. And after that, we are independent. Already, I have said this. We will become independent.
then we can come out, no sir, out of the.
We can come out. We can come. See, after that, we can test nuclear weapon, and after that, no one can put nuclear sanction against India, nuclear trade sanction, because we will not trade, because already we have 1/4 of the world's thorium. Can understand?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now today you test nuclear weapon means nobody will supply you anything regarding nuclear technology, particularly the raw material. But after some time, when we master the thorium-based technology, after that you test nuclear weapon means world countries let them put a nuclear trade sanction, no problem for India. Because they say that I don't need your things, I will produce myself, like that India will say. But that will take time. That will take time.
That's all, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, Daksha.
Sir, could you please tell about Paris Convention and Vienna Convention?
See, already I said if that means we have to pass a local liability legislation, and the local liability legislation should be in line with international standards. Okay, what is that international standard? I mean, 3 international conventions are there. Okay, but
Okay, sir.
it is we are concerned only with the CSC Convention 1997. Why? Because what are the provisions available in these 2 conventions are included in CSC Convention 1997. That's all. So,
Okay,
in the CSC Convention 1997, the issue there is, if there is any, we are going to supplier companies only signed this. If we are going to supply, if anyone buys nuclear reactor technology from myself means, and some accident is there means, I will not give compensation. That is CSC Convention 1997. It is the important thing we have to infer. But we have a fund, compensation fund is there, but you can't access this easily. That is the understanding.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Revati.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
So I have a doubt, sir.
Yes.
If we want to get a nuclear technology from another country,
Yes.
there should be a agreement signed between these 2 countries. Is it so, sir?
Yes. Yes.
Sir told
So
that.
we have signed agreements. No, I have given the list. No.
Yes, sir. So in that,
These countries we have signed it. Yes.
France is a France first country that we yes.
Signed it. No, US was the first country who signed it.
Okay, sir.
So that energy restriction was there, no? So because US signed a deal with India, restriction was lifted. After that, India was able to sign with other countries.
Okay, then what about Canada, sir? Because in 1974 we bought nuclear reactors from Canada.
So because of that only energy was found, restrictions was there on India. Now these Western countries feel that let us use India. See, this is a business for them. So in those countries, the market has been saturated. More number of saturated means more number. The companies can produce more reactors, but Canada doesn't need current because already they have enough number of electricity. So now they have to sell it outside. The only country who can sell, who can buy this reactor is India because we are in need of lot of energy. That's why, and not only that, in the last 5 decades, India was the only country who have a clear slate of non-proliferation. That means, although we are not part to NPT and CTBT, we are following the principles of NPT and CTBT. That means, from India, the technology did not spread to any country. But Pakistan, yes. See, some countries signed NPT. What is the purpose of NPT? No one technology.
Yes.
Okay, okay. But from China, it was sent to Pakistan. From Pakistan, illegally it spread to Iran. From Iran, illegally, North Korea, it spread to North Korea. But
Yes,
India is
yes.
a country, unrecognized country who have this technology, but India never shared with anyone.
Okay.
India adheres to the NPT principle as a non-signatory.
Mm-hmm.
Not accept it. I did not sign that agreement, but I am following the principles of that agreement. This is what India is doing. That's why the world country said that since India is having a clear nuclear non-proliferation record, they thought that India is a being country, being government friendly one. Because India is having nuclear weapon, it is not going to threat anyone except China and Pakistan. So China, Pakistan, other countries doesn't have they doesn't have good opinion. So they were happy. That's why all these Western countries they are supporting India, except. So this is a problem only for China and Pakistan. India becomes nuclear, is being recognized means China and Pakistan only have to worry. Other countries will be happy because this, India is having nuclear weapon. It is not a threat to Canada. It is not a threat to US. It is not a threat to France, South Korea, Japan, or UK, or whatever country. So it is a threat only to Pakistan or China.
Okay, sir.
So this country doesn't have a problem with India.
So, so we can say US with the US is the first country that India signed a deal, not the
Yes,
Canada.
yes. No, first US only. Earlier, without earlier, if you give money means people will give you reactors. That was
Okay.
1974.
Okay.
After 1975, energy only after an agreement only it will be deal. It will they will give you reactor. Energy said that don't sign any kind of agreement with India.
Okay, sir.
And 2008, energy said that okay, you can sign agreement with India.
Okay.
When we bought the reactor from Canada, no agreement is required actually.
Yes,
Restriction was there. Just to pay money, you will get it. For that, I gave the example of buying a knife. You are going. You are a normal. You are a cook. So you are going to the supermarket and buying a knife means if you pay money means they will give you. Tomorrow you are going and killing everyone means after that no one will supply you knife.
Okay.
I understand. Similarly, before 1974, no issue was there. When India used that peaceful technology for military purpose, energy was formed, and energy said that hereafterwards no agreement with India regarding nuclear technology. That was relaxed in 2008 because of US. Because of US, we are now able to access nuclear reactor. Other countries immediately signed the deal with India.
Okay, sir, got it, sir. So second thing is that 1974 India tested the nuclear weapon. Even though we are a member of Test Ban Treaty, but world countries did not come against us because we tested underground. Is it so, sir?
No. See, why we tested underground means because we signed the 1963 treaty.
Yes, sir.
1963 we gave a commitment that we will not test on ground, underwater, and space. That's why we tested underground. But every country went against India only by forming this NSG. By the time all the countries put pressure on India only. Yes, particularly all Western countries they were against India. After disintegration of Soviet Union only, India-Western country relation again started. Except for France. France always support India. Why means because France wanted to sell its reactor to India. That's why France, from the starting, they were supporting India. Except that Canada, South Korea, Japan, UK, US, all were against India.
Okay, sir. Okay.
After US became friendly with India, these countries became friendly with India. Very simple.
So third thing, sir told about the
IAEA.
IAEA. So sir told that it can the organization can inspect a country. What are the criteria for needed for the inspection by this organization, sir?
No, see, no criteria. See, the thing is, you are having a nuclear reactor in your country.
Okay.
Now you are allowed to buy nuclear related things from other country. On the condition that you should not use this for military purpose.
Okay.
So other country will know that you are not using it for military purpose. For that only, IAEA is an inspection committee. In school colleges, inspection will come now like that. They will inspect in the nuclear reactor and then they will check what are all the things you have bought from other country, where it is being used. They will come and check it and then finally they will give you a certificate that yes, this country is not using it for military.
So if we have a military, if the country is having a military means nuclear weapon, this
Weapon?
IE cannot inspect, sir.
See, earlier with respect to Iran, when Iran was doing some military-based activity,
Yes,
all
sir.
the world countries said that you are doing some military activity. Iran said that no, I am not doing it. Then world countries said that then in that case I will send the IAEA team. Iran said that no, I will not allow IAEA team. So this is an understanding that because Iran is not allowing IAEA, the understanding is Iran is doing military activity.
Okay, okay,
Of
sir.
course, if Iran is not doing military activity, means they will allow IAEA to come and check it. Okay, this is with respect to Iran. With respect to India, those countries have asked India to separate our military reactors and civil reactors. Military reactors will be aloof, separated. They will not come and check it. But we can't, see, we are going to buy nuclear reactor technology, raw material. No, we can't use this there. To check that only IAEA is coming to India. And we will be telling that I am not using it for the military. See, military is separate. What all the things I am accessing from outside country, I am using it only in the civil reactor. See, come and see, check it. This is what India is doing. So before 2008, India never allowed IAEA. After 2008, IAEA comes and checks all our civil reactor. Because what all the things we are going to access, we are going to use it only in the civil reactor, not in the military reactor. That is the condition. I don't need to improve my military reactor because already I have enough. This is India's position.
Okay, sir, I got it, sir.
Okay, now I think your answers, I mean, you got your answers.
Yes, I got it, sir. So other
yes.
thing is you told about the operators, suppliers, operators, and consumers. This operator is there? Is these operators are for private body?
In India, so far it is a government body, NPCL, Nuclear Power Corporation India Limited, which is a government company, public company.
NPC, okay, sir.
Okay, so in US and all private companies are there, but in India no private company. See, if you allow private company in India, means what they will do because they are greedy, they may do some bad things. So certain things are under the control of government only, particularly atomic energy. Atomic energy completely under the control of government. So under whose department and whose authority this atomic energy is that in the central ministry? Do you have any idea? This will come as a question.
Okay, okay, sir.
Finance minister means this Nirmala Sitharaman. So defense means we have a separate minister. For atomic energy, who is controlling the atomic energy in India?
No idea.
Under which minister is controlling it? Prime Minister itself.
Okay, sir. That
because that is an important ministry. Prime Minister, important industry. Prime Minister himself, it is under direct aegis of Prime Minister. Very simple.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. So it's part of this cabinet committee on security.
So headed by Prime Minister.
Okay, sir.
He is in charge of atomic energy. Atomic energy department is under the control of Prime Minister.
Got it, sir. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Roshini?
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
So after Operation Shakti, US has put economic sanctions on India, no, sir?
Yes, yes.
Which made the sudden policy change?
Sudden policy change. See, within a year, US withdrew. That means took back the sanction against India because number one, India said that we have tested nuclear weapon against China only to deter China. So
okay, sir.
And number two, India had a very big market, untapped market.
Okay,
so
sir.
Companies wanted to access our market, so US wanted friendly relation with India.
So these are all the only two reasons.
Only two reasons. This two reasons is enough, no? So US have all the product, you have all the, we have all the market. So US open relationship with India, and India's nuclear weapon is not going to threaten US. India's nuclear weapon.
So I read somewhere like some PM has written a letter to US President.
Not read. I said in the first class. Our president read a letter to the US President Bill Clinton that we have tested this nuclear weapon to deter China only. So
Vajpayee wrote the letter, sir?
Vajpayee wrote it. Yes, Vajpayee
Okay,
wrote it.
okay.
So Bill Clinton convinced that he was searching for partners to counter China and found that India is the best partner. So immediately US opened relationship with India.
Oh. In 1962, China-India war, we have sought the help of US president, no, sir?
No, US automatically helped India. Why means because China is a communist country, India is a democratic country. They came to rescue not because we are India, because we are a democratic country, because US is having its official policy of restricting communist expansion. If India falls down means entire Indian Ocean will go under the control of communist people. That is against US. That's why US immediately came to the rescue of India.
But during 1971 Indo-Pak war,
By the time by the time we fought against Pakistan, who is a security ally of US. So here no communism is there, no. So that's why US went again. Always US was against India till 1998.
but now what stand US will take, sir? The Pakistan.
No, Pakistan, India, they are supporting India.
Okay, sir.
China also, they are supporting India. US supports India today because India is more useful to US today.
If we gave options between Pakistan and India, it will choose only India.
Yes, now already they have chosen India.
Yes, sir. Because they need.
But Russia is also still supporting India. So now that's why Pakistan is now seeking the support of whom?
China.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Because US had some interest with Pakistan on dealing with Taliban like that.
No, see, for dealing Taliban, they were supporting Pakistan. But now Trump has completely cut down all the relationship with Pakistan today.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Then Pooja.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, in 1964, China tested nuclear weapon, right, sir?
1964,
so,
yes.
Yeah. So how did it test it?
Maybe they might have also tested underground.
Okay, then why didn't countries all were against China?
No, by the time there was no big problem. See, all the problem starts only after NPT. I mean, when NPT came into force.
Okay.
They already have accepted China as a nuclear power country. So China had no problem. Here afterwards, no one should test nuclear weapon. That is what NPT said.
Okay, sir. Sir, my second question is that is IAEA looking only about using that raw materials or technology that we are bringing from other countries for civil purpose or military purpose?
Yes.
Not our own.
See, our own IAEA will not check it. See, that means we are signing a deal with US. We are going to buy reactor technology from US, giving a promise that I'm going to use it only for peaceful purpose. So to ensure that IAEA comes. So IAEA doesn't actually care with what we are doing, but with our indigenous technology also, we are trying to go for nuclear appointments. No country will supply anything to India.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Nikshiti.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
Sir, NSG was created so that like any other country shouldn't go nuclear weapon, right, sir?
Yes, yes.
But how come Pakistan? How did they?
For Pakistan accessed this nuclear related material through black market from China.
Okay, sir.
Black market.
Okay, sir. But they didn't take any action against this, sir? Like sanctions?
They took action. Sanctions when they tested. See, you can access it, but once you test means it will become out.
So in 1998, even they got sanctions, sir?
Yes. Pakistan was under sanction. India was also under sanction.
Okay.
But Pakistan defended that my enemy India is having nuclear weapon. I have no choice. Like that, they defended.
Okay.
Sir. The entire pressure was there on India.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And then Karthik.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Yes.
சார் ஆக்சுவலி நம்ம இந்தியா எதுக்கு என்பிடி சைன் பண்ணலன்னா P5 கண்ட்ரிஸ் அவங்கள அலோ டு ரீடைன் நியூக்ளியர் வெப்பன்ஸ்னால தானே சார் நம்ம இந்தியா சைன் பண்ணல.
No, they are allowed to retain their weapon, but they are not allowing others to acquire nuclear weapon.
ஏன் சார் அவங்க அந்த மாதிரி பண்றாங்க? அவங்க மத்தவங்க
ஆமா, எல்லாரும் நியூக்ளியர் பாம் வச்சிருந்தீங்கன்னா சண்டைனால எல்லாரும் நியூக்ளியர் பாம் எடுத்துட்டு சண்டைக்கு போயிட்டாங்கன்னா வேர்ல்ட் இட் இஸ் a problem for the world.
ஓகே சார். அப்ப நம்ம இந்தியா அவங்க எதுவும் சொல்ல முடியாது சார், நீங்களும் யூஸ் பண்ண கூடாதுன்னலாம்.
அதான் சொன்னோம், நீனும் see the point is when NPT was signed, already 5 countries they have tested nuclear weapon. 5 countries already they have nuclear weapon.
Okay sir.
India was the 6th country which was about to have nuclear weapon. But
okay.
They are telling that here afterwards don't test. Already 5 countries said let them keep it, but here afterwards no one test. Means India said that number one, why you are not allowing me to test? Then if you are not allowing me to test, means then what to happen to the 5 people who already have nuclear weapon? Ask them to disband. So this is what India argued, but those countries are not ready to disband the weapon. That's why India said that this is discriminatory, I will not sign it.
ஓகே சார். அப்புறம் அந்த என்எஸ்ஜி வந்த அப்புறம் நம்ம இந்தியாவுக்கு எந்த சப்ளையும் இல்ல சார்.
இல்ல
ஏன்னா
till 2008
till 2000. அப்ப அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம இண்டிஜினஸ் டெக்னாலஜியை வச்சு நம்ம இது பண்ணோம்.
Yes, we have done it already. We have 1%. See, the important thing for nuclear technology is raw material. We have raw material, that 1%. So that is used for military, but if you wanted to use that for commercial purpose, for producing electricity, we need a amount of resources that we don't have.
ஓகே சார். அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த நியூக்ளியர் லயபிலிட்டி லெஜிஸ்லேஷன் இருக்குல்ல சார்.
ஓகே.
அது எதுக்குன்னா நம்ம ஏதாவது ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆச்சு, ஏதோ பிளாஸ்ட் ஆச்சுன்னா நம்ம அத அந்த லாவை நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்ல சார்.
அந்த லாவை எப்படி இருக்குன்னா நானே பாத்துக்கிறேன்னு நீங்க லா போடுங்கன்னு அவன் பிரஷர் பண்ணுவான்.
நம்மளே லா ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
நான் நாளைக்கு இப்ப நான் ஒரு ஷாப் வச்சிருக்கேன், எங்க ஷாப்ல ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் வாங்கிட்டு போறீங்க.
ஓகே சார்.
வாரண்டி நான் கொடுக்கணும் 2 இயர்ஸ்க்கு. இது எதானாலும் நான் உங்களுக்கு காம்பன்சேஷன் கொடுத்துறேன், இல்லைன்னா ரீப்ளேஸ் பண்றேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஆனா இந்த சிஎஸ்சி கன்வென்ஷன் என்ன சொல்லுதுன்னா, அது வெடிச்சு உங்களுக்கு எது டேமேஜ் ஆனா நீங்களே பாத்துக்கிறேன்னு எனக்கு எழுதி கொடுங்கன்னு கேக்குறேன். அதான் நியூக்ளியர் லயபிலிட்டி லெஜிஸ்லேஷன்.
இல்ல சார், ஆக்சுவலி அந்த இது நம்ம பண்ணலாம் சார். சிஎஸ்சி இருக்குல்ல சார், அவங்க என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னா ஏதாவது மேனுஃபேக்சரிங் எந்த பிரச்சனாலும் நாங்க பொறுப்பு இல்லைன்னு சப்ளையர் சொல்லிட்டாங்கல்ல சார்.
பொறுப்பு இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க. ஆமா,
பொறுப்பு இல்லைன்னு. அப்புறம் நம்மளா எதுக்கு சார் இந்த நியூக்ளியர் லயபிலிட்டி லெஜிஸ்லேஷன் லா ஃபார்ம் பண்ணோம்?
ஆமா, அப்போ நமக்கு வேணும்னா நீ ஃபார்ம் பண்ணா தான் நான் கொடுப்பேன்னு சொல்றேன். We have passed nuclear liability legislation, then only you can access. If US is going to supply you reactor means we have to take care that means we have to give an assurance that if anything happens means I will not charge you, I will not ask you to take responsibility, I myself will take responsibility. This is nuclear.
Okay sir.
Legislation okay, ஆனா எப்படி எடுத்துக்கணும்னா நானே பாத்துக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு நம்ம ஒரு சட்டமே கொண்டாடணும்னு சொல்றோம். How you will accept it?
Okay sir. Okay sir. Okay sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Then Sri Darshini. Yes.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Sir, you said about the test ban treaty, no, sir. Sir,
test
before
ban treaty.
in before case,
treaty.
Yes, sir. In before case, in non-proliferation treaty of regarding Iran, they went against it, no, sir.
Yes.
So did they sign the test ban theory before it, like this?
No, test ban treaty is irrelevant. That and all. See, they said don't do it here, but countries found other place to do that. Test ban treaty is not an issue. NPT bans. That means you should not test nuclear weapon. You should not spread your nuclear weapon. But Iran was doing it after signing NPT. That's why Iran got it.
Okay, sir. So the other thing is, when US poses economic sanction against India, why didn't Russia and China?
One minute, please come again. Okay.
Sir, when US imposed economic sanction on India, why didn't US? Yes, sir. Then why didn't why didn't China and Russia came in support of India against US, sir?
Russia is always supporting India.
So it could have.
No. See, India. See, earlier our stand is we are enemy to US and enemy to China. particularly we are enemy to China, no?
Yes.
We are enemy to
But
China, but at least for US, first 50 years enemies, now friends. 2 decades we are friends.
Yes,
Okay.
actually, before in case of Iran, well, when in the JCPOA case, no, so when Trump, I mean, those
yes.
administration withdrew, like Russia and China were supporters of Iran, also in those
Yes.
period.
See,
I
they
thought
are
like
friends.
that.
No, they are friends. And see, China have direct interest in Iran because China is getting most of its oil and gas from Iran. For Iran, China is #1 customer. And with respect to India, you have to note that even when US was an enemy of India in the first 50 years, when India and China had a war in 1962, US helped India.
So.
Okay, so that means India is an enemy of China. Neighbors, no, they are enemies. Okay, so that means even if US is going against India, see, okay, so what? So the other answer is generally India also doesn't like US dominance. For that only we have formed a forum called RIC, Russia, India, China, and BRICS. That forum we are cooperating.
Yes, sir. So the last thing is when in 1975 there was NSC against India, where US took this initiative.
Yes.
Beyond that, after 1998, we have we have Operation Shakti. In what in this case, what India says, like what because after NSG, like we have some sanctions that we are not going to get any supply. So beyond that, we are going for nuclear testing. So what India is saying towards this, sir?
If you want to test nuclear weapons, you can test it, but nobody will help you. You can't.
That's what, sir. But India knows that after energy, if we do so, we will not get anything. But we are in need of uranium.
Yeah, already we are under sanction. If you are going to see, the thing is, somebody has done a big crime, so he's going to be hanged. So that guy thinks that why can't I kill one another guy? Again, I will not be hanged twice. No, can understand. So like that, already we are under sanction. But nobody will supply nuclear related material to India. If you test one more time, means what is the other thing they are going to do? Nothing. That's
it.
For nuclear.
Is that in 1998 only we got first sanction? No? Is it, sir, or we got it before?
So, see, here we are, 1975 itself, we can't access nuclear related material from any country.
Okay, sir.
But in 1998, one more sanction was there. Economic sanction was also there.
Okay, okay, sir.
But, immediately they lifted economic sanction in the eye of accessing Indian market. Because we are with US against China.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Yes, Vignesh.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, whether India-US nuclear deal passed in our parliament, sir?
Whether India?
That means we ratified it.
Yes.
India-US nuclear deal.
Yes. See, they no.
Okay, sir. But
see, actually, it is them who have to bypass their law.
Okay, sir.
Actually, 1954 law bans US government to open civil nuclear deal with India. For that, they have to pass a new law bypassing 1954 law. We don't have any problem to have nuclear deal with anyone.
So we just signed that deal only, no?
Yes,
sir?
yes. But we have to pass a nuclear liability legislation. There are problems that we will discuss next class.
Okay. Sir.
We have to pass the nuclear liability legislation, no?
Yes, sir.
So their discussion was there in Parliament.
Sir, whether we in future whether we test a nuclear weapon means there may be a chance that US put sanction on us. There may be a chance, no, sir.
100%. Not only US, entire world country will put a sanction.
Oh, entire world country, no, sir.
Entire world country, like how Iran is facing, we will be facing. But India already decided no need of any extra bomb. Because already I have enough.
Okay, sir. But in the case of thorium means we can test a weapon.
See, why you want more weapon? That is the question.
Not.
See,
sir.
See, see, the thing is already I said your life is under danger. So what you are doing is you are buying a gun. Okay, you can have 2 guns. Why you need 100 guns? You can't use guns. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
See, two hands, only two guns only. So India have enough guns to safeguard ourselves. If we have a gun, means nobody will create problem with you. Problem solved. Why I should have so much of nuclear weapons when already I have tested enough, more than enough. That's why India said, I don't need any further test. I want only power. That means power means electricity. That's why we are going for civil nuclear agreement with various countries.
Okay, sir. My second question is like that. You said atomic energy is directly under Prime Minister.
Yes.
Is it applicable for civil electricity production?
Everything is under Prime Minister. Atomic Energy Department is under Prime Minister.
So, if, in Tamil Nadu, if electricity produced from Kalpakkam means that nuclear electricity will come under Prime Minister.
No, Kalpakkam is central government's control. Very simple.
Okay, sir. But it will not contribute to the state government. Like that, can I?
Since it is in Tamil Nadu, you can't get that electricity, you can't transmit, no?
Yes, sir.
Tamil Nadu purpose, they are like that in Tamil Nadu, they have Kudankulam and Kalpakkam. Like that, major districts, they are having their own power plants, whether it is nuclear or thermal, whatever it is.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
No, thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Sir, sir, why is Russia not supporting Pakistan like it is supporting India, sir?
Because India is a close partner. See, we are having historic partner. Opening relation with Pakistan.
So, okay, sir.
Because we are opening relationship with US, now the team changes. But that doesn't mean that Russia is supporting Pakistan. Russia still support India, but India is having relationship with both Russia and US.
Yes, sir. So since Pakistan was supported by US in the beginning, that's why Pakistan was not able to have a relationship with Russia. But since now the time
but see, the first 50 years, India is the enemy of Pakistan. Sorry, India is the enemy of US, and Pakistan was a friend of US. And India was a friend of Russia. Pakistan was the enemy of Russia. But now what is Russia? We retain the Russian friendship, but we have also open relationship with US. US want friendship with India. US cut down the relationship with Pakistan. That's Pakistan doesn't have much support from US, and also cannot establish good relationship with Russia like Russia is having it with India. That's why Pakistan is now depending upon whom?
China.
Yes, that is the secret of that relation.
Yes, sir. So thank you, sir.
Okay. Coming to the comments, Iran was put in economic sanction. Okay, India was also under economic sanction. Okay, Russia supplying nuclear material and technology to India. Yes, today they are supplying. The Kudankulam reactor was installed by Russia. Already 4 units are running. And then, can you repeat the point about US can place more pressure on Iran? Though Indo-US, through Indo, see that means we are buying lot of oil from Iran. US want no one to buy anything from Iran. So India said that if you because US is pressurizing it, we are cutting down all the oil import from Iran. Means where I will go for nuclear. That means current. Then US said that US, I will give you nuclear technology. You don't buy oil from Iran. Now nobody, India is not buying oil from Iran. So Iran's business have gone down. So by doing this, US is putting pressure on Iran. So for Iran, India is the second biggest customer. But India is not buying oil from Iran today. No much oil. Because US is now giving us nuclear reactor, it is put a condition that don't buy anything from Iran, take this nuclear deal. And then P5, permitted to expand their military capability presently. No, they already have enough. Okay, so does China support Iran? China support Iran, yes. Prime Minister, PM, okay. Can we conclude that India is the only non-P5 country which possesses nuclear weapon without any restrictions? Now Pakistan is also not under restriction. Yes, restrictions regarding nuclear trade. That is only India. The only country in the world who have nuclear weapon and who are not, who is an unrecognized nuclear weapon country, but yet can access nuclear technology from other countries, India only. Yes, true. Yes, India passed nuclear liability law. Yes, we have passed it. But we have some issue that we will discuss next class. How India was able to collaborate with Russia and build Kudam without getting NSJ waiver. In 2002, no? In 2000, not in 2000. So Russia completed the Kudam reactor after 2008 only. Before that, Russia was trying to do that, Soviet Union, but US blocked it. Okay, that's why Russia was unable to complete the Kudam reactor. But after NSG's waiver, not NSA, NSG. NSG, not NSA. Okay. Then reports from SIPRI Institute says that. What is SIPRI? I don't know. Okay. In India's nuclear weapon stockpile has increased from warheads. How was this possible? Without uranium, we have 1% uranium. We have it. We have 1% of uranium. With that is enough for our military purpose. But with that 1%, you can't produce electricity. Then Pooja is asking, sir, China gave technology black market to Pakistan. So this is against energy. Then why they did not put countries? So yeah, China already is a recognized power, number one, and it is having veto in UNSC, and they have sold it in black market. Black market means no, you can't, how you produce evidence? Black market means illegally. Illegally I am doing it means then how you know? Okay, so that's. I think I have answered all the questions. Thank you.